Clap.
Go.
Clap.
Go.
Clap.
Go. Clap. Go. Clap. Go. Clap. Go.
Hindi naman ako lang sa Facebook.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I request everyone to please settle down. We are about to begin the program in a few minutes. Please be guided of the following house rules.
First, we would like to remind everyone to kindly keep their mic muted, but we encourage you to turn on your cameras during the event proper. Second, we would like to seek your full cooperation in completing this pre-conference. If you have questions during the discussion, kindly send them to the chat box. Lastly, please be reminded to finish the evaluation forms to be disseminated later, for it will be the basis for your certificates.
We will be sending all of the mentioned house rules in the chat box for everyone's reference. May we also ask everyone to remain engaged throughout the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Clap. Go. Clap. Go. Clap. Go.
A pleasant evening, everyone. Welcome to our pre-conference webinar entitled Game Loading to the New Normal and Beyond. I am Rahim Victor Cortez.
And I am Shane Fruto, and it is our pleasure to be the master of the ceremony for tonight's event. But for now, RV, can you tell us ano ba yung meron sa event na to at ano yung mga dapat i-expect ng ating mga participants?
At sa pagkakaalam ko, ito is pre-conference lamang para sa magiging event nila, yung mismong conference, October 23 to 24, 2021. Tapos, meron dong na-invited na 4 speakers to share that, para i-share yung kanilang knowledge about sa expertise or paano ka kikilos, syempre, sa new normal. And also, aim din ng webinar na ma-maximize yung online learning para sa mga students and syempre, para sa mga professionals.
So sobrang timely pala talaga ng mga topics kasi syempre nasa online ano na ngayon era, parang ganun. So, and of course, aside from that, hindi mawawala ang ating bonggang-bonggang paraffol. We will announce the mechanics later on. So stay tuned and you might be one of the lucky winners po sa ating raffle. And aside from that, this event will be an informative and enjoyable one. Kaya naman, wag na natin patagalin to. Let us now start our program with an opening prayer to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Again, on behalf of AskLex PH Academy, we are proud to welcome you all to this webinar entitled Game Loading to the New Normal and Beyond. Also, thank you so much to our generous sponsors and partners. This event would not be possible without your support.
So before we proceed, we would like to thank our attendees today's pre-conference. We really appreciate you taking time off po sa mga ginagawa nyo. Despite of your busy schedule, nagawa nyo pa pong umattend ngayon. Napapansin mo ba, sobrang dami nating attendees and sobrang bago nun sa atin, no?
Kasi first time namin mag-host ni Shane ng ganito karami kasi pinakamarami natin ata is 100 lang.
Yes, or below 100.
Tapos parang yung latest pa namin is nung leadership training program which is parang I think 30 lang tayo.
Yes.
Kaya sobrang naninibago po kami kaya please bear with us. Okay. Okay, since sobrang dami nating participants, I'll be expecting na active sila, Shane, di ba?
Naman.
And I hope nakapag-relax sila at the moment habang sila nakikinig sa atin. So, participants, roll call tayo. Patingin nga ng inyong mga clapping emojis. Nagre-react ba?
Mag-react kayo. Practicein natin na inyong mga reaction dyan from sa reaction panel naman.
May nakaklap po ba?
Yan! Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat
All right, thank you so much for the warm response. Kaya naman, wag na natin patagalin. Partner, to formally begin today's event, we are pleased to welcome our marketing head, Melanie Madrigal, to deliver her opening remarks. Please give her a big round of emoji applause.
Yan, solid clap para kay Ate Elay. Ate Elay, I'm so proud of you.
Hi, good evening. Hello? So I can't open my video. So, okay. I am delighted to be here to give the opening message for today's event. I am Melanie Madrigal, the newly marketing head of ASICS PH Academy. It is a glorious moment to extend a warm welcome to everyone. I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to our participants, hosts, Arvi and Shane, of course, sponsors, MindZone, Omar PPH, FranchiseManila.com, Creo PH, Four Treats, Grizzly Dough, Flower Store PH, Polarix Maniwari Crafts by NXA, Grace Apparel PH, Yummy to Tummy PH, Farmbox, Healthmart PH, Herwalk PH, Jscape, DYAS Construction Management Consultant, and JP Alangilan, Mapua MSc, PIIE PUPSC, HR Calabarzon, Engineer.org, and Mind Grit by Dr. Ray Revista. And to all other guests who exerted effort to commit and make this event possible, to all the interns and ambassadors, to all the ASLEX PH core team, thank you very much. Game loading to the new normal and beyond. This is a glimpse of the anniversary conference on October 23 to 24. Okay, sorry, I can't open my video. This webinar aims to maximize the online learning of both students and professionals. We are honored to have Engineer Felix Beroya, of course, Engineer Joshua Palisok, Engineer Zaya Gutierrez, and Ms. Kessel Macapagal to share their knowledge and expertise in the context of the new normal. So prepare yourselves to be engaged with exciting challenges that we prepared and be inspired with fruitful discussions. And before I hand over this to Shane and Arvi, our hosts for today's event, let me conclude this by saying that I hope this event will help everyone here to gain more knowledge and aha moments and be hashtag significantly better. There's a lot to anticipate, and I hope that your energy and participation will continue until the end of this event. Once again, thank you so much and welcome to Game Loading to the new normal and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ate Eli, for the warm welcoming remarks.
And like what I said earlier, Rahim,
Mhm.
we will having raffle at 10 participants ang mananalo. Alam mo kung magkano?
Magkano?
100 lang naman via
Aha.
GCash and RP Maya. So gusto ko na lang din yata maging participants.
Oo, parang gusto ko pumunta sa ano.
Wala
unahan
na
ko
naman
sila.
yung GCash ko.
Ako nga rin eh. Kahapon naghulog ako ng nag-cash in ako ng 200. Tapos nagbigay ko ng tip dun sa nag-ayos ng laptop ko. Tapos right after nun,
Wala
wala
ka
na
na
ulit
rin.
laman. Uninstall na ulit
Ako
ako ng
wala
Gcash.
talaga. Matagal nang wala laman ng GCash ko.
Ano
Baka
yun,
naman.
reacts ko. Okay, so I think ready sila sa ating mechanics. Kasi napakasimple lang din ang mechanics para manalo. First is watch our pre-conference live on September 23 today. Then second, okay, nakakita na dito. Mababasa na rin yan. Pero second, like our Facebook live and drop a comment. Tapos third, share the live on your Facebook account with the hashtag GameOnConference. And kung mas makakatulong, gawin nyo pong public yung inyong
Wait lang, RV. Hindi daw pala sa Facebook naka-live.
Oh.
Sa YouTube. So yon, manood kayo. Pwede nyo rin i-share yung link from YouTube, di
Oh,
ba?
okay, yes, Shane. Sorry po. Okay, pero yun, i-share nyo, tapos ikaw pwede nyo i-share. Kasi for sure, baka naka-friends lang yung kanilang sa friends lang. Paki-public na rin para mas malaki yung reach ng Aztecs PH Academy.
At mag-comment na din kayo. Pwede nyo naman kaming i-mention doon sa comment section, no?
Iko-comment din namin yung numbers namin para sa GCash kasi wala na
pasend
naman.
lang.
Ayun po, okay. Sin tayo.
So moving forward, I bet everyone is now excited for our speakers today because all of us would definitely learn a lot from them. I just want to remind everyone that if you have questions for the speakers, you can send them through our comment. I am the, what do you call that? Chat box, yes. Tapos babasahin na lang namin para masagot ng ating guest speakers.
Mhm.
So introduce mo na ang ating guest speakers.
I think kilala, sobrang familiar to sa
Mm-mm.
sa mga participants natin, okay? First, Engineer Felix has a total of 10 years working experience in helping individuals and organizations to build and utilize competencies in continuous improvement, innovation, and analytics across the fields of academics, logistics, supply chain, manufacturing, training, and consulting for SMEs up to multinational corporations. He is the founder and CEO of Aztecs PH Academy, co-founder and managing director of IXL CIE Review Center, co-founder and head of strategic partnership of Farmbox PH, and founder of online community of 12,000 Filipino industrial engineers. I hope na familiar ng mga participants dito, Pinoy IEs.
He has proven skills relating to business administration, people management, research, statistical analysis, workshop facilitation, and consulting. He was able to complete and coach projects utilizing proven tools and methodologies such as DMAIC, SCORE, design thinking, and self-initiated improvements framework on OEE or the capacity improvement, preventive maintenance time reduction, mistake proofing, quick engineering solutions, idea management, and etc. He also published international books entitled Introduction to Statistical Process Control, a problem-solving process approach, and best practices in managing virtual teams under Book Boon Ltd under a Denmark-based ebook publisher which was downloaded across the globe more than 150 times. 150 times 1,000 yun ha.
Sobrang dami.
He is also a contributing author for a leading international online Lean Six Sigma resource called iSixSigma.com and an internationally published researcher on industrial engineering topics. Felix has been a speaker for over 100 of national and international speaking engagements here and abroad.
Napakahaba, di ba? Pero wait, there is more. He is a certified industrial engineer, an associate ASEAN engineer, a certified Lean/Kaizen facilitator, a certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, and a certified Design Sprint Master. Felix is an elected board director of the Lean Division of the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineer. He also founded an online community for industrial engineers called Pinoy IEs, helping fellow IEs to share their best practices to fellow IEs. Okay, I think sobrang haba na sabi natin kaya
Oo,
inasabi, sir.
okay. So to give us information about continuous improvement in the new normal, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome and give a round of emoji applause to Engineer Felix C. Veroya.
Welcome, sir. You may proceed.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Checking whether you can hear me and see me and feel me. And wala yung feel me. Hanggang see
Yes,
and
sir.
hear lang.
Muntik nang ma-feel, sir.
Nagulat po kami sa feel.
Okay, can you type in the number 9 para at least malaman ko if I'm with an active audience tonight. Okay, so for the next 20 minutes, I'll be sharing with you something about the continuous improvement in the new normal. So this may be these are predictions rather, and the state of the continuous improvement as we speak. Okay. So much has been said about me. Thank you, RV and Shane. And I would like to start this one. So ayoko nang i-discuss yan kasi meron na tayo niyan kanina. I would like to start my session by having a short engaging activity. Okay, so I'm actually showing the link. Ayan po. I'm showing the link or the QR code to the slido.com na gagamitin natin. So let me shift my screen to the Slido screen very quickly. Ayan po. So if you happen to have a scanner for QR code, kung wala naman, I'll be sharing the event link sa ating chat box, sa ating Zoom chat box. And please participate. Ay, sorry. Ba't ganon? Hindi nag-copy. Copy. Iba yung nag-copy yung YouTube pa din. Oh, ba't ganon? Ayaw mag-copy. Nagka-copy yung YouTube. Wait lang. So, alam ko na. Ito na lang. Ay, hindi din. Share. Copy. Ayun. Yun. So, try nyo nga po to. Yan. Yung link na yan. Kung makaka-join kayo. So, yan. Join tayo. Can you see the screen now? So, as of now, wala pa tayong members ng ating short poll. So, the question is about, so para makita natin yung sagot ng lahat, so I prepared something na pwedeng mapakita yon through a slido.com poll. Ayan, may pumasok na. Uy. Okay. So, bigyan ko kayo ng at 6:36. I'll give you 1 minute more. And so, we're now 266 here. 257 are attendees, so you might want to participate. All right, so we have 10 attendees pa lang out of 257. Go. Yung mga nasa YouTube natin, pwede rin mag-participate ha. Just have to go to the link. All right. So as of now, we have like Kaizen, no? Six Sigma Meth, no? So I would suppose that meth means methodology, ha? Para all right, so 17. Sige. 30 seconds more. Or maybe let's have it like 1 and 30 seconds para at least maka-participate yung iba. So ano nga ba when you hear the phrase continuous improvement, tool or technique, which tool or technique comes first, no? Ang una yung naiisip. So we have like ito kasi is an example of a word. Say, so mas malaki yung size ng word na yon, no? So leading yung Kaizen, followed by Lean Six Sigma, and then I think DMAIC. Yan. Sige. So you still have value stream mapping. We also have SciPoc, flowcharts, 14 Deming points. Interesting. Interesting answers. Yan. So pwede po kayong mag-participate. So 30 seconds more. Well, this is just a starter, no? Okay. 15 seconds. Alright, so hindi na siya nababago. Stuck na tayo sa Kaizen. And then we have Lean Six Sigma and then Six Sigma methodology. So, ayan. Alright, so I guess we have to shift to our main deck. Thank you sa ating 28 na nakapag-participate. Siguro we have some sort of problem sa internet din kaya hindi lahat nakapag-participate. But nonetheless, thank you for your participation. So let's go and move forward with our topic for tonight. So again, continuous improvement in the new normal. Diba? So sabi ni Masaaki Imai, which is the founder of Kaizen, where there is no standard, there can be no improvement. For these reasons, standards are the basis for both maintenance and improvement. So I always tell my mentees and even on my talks that before we can do improvements, you have to start somewhere else. You have to start somewhere. Kumbaga parang hindi ka pwedeng magsabi ng mag-i-improve ako pero hindi mo alam kung nasaan ka. So you should know your baseline. And standards are the things or the kumbaga lines that separates kung nasaan ka at saan mo gusto pumunta. So that creates yung visualization ng gap para makapag-improve tayo or para makagawa tayo ng mga improvement action items, no? So that's the basic notion of yung ating continuous improvement na framework. So meron kasi tayong tinatawag na sustenance or maintenance. Meaning nun, parang gusto mo lang mahit ng mahit yung target mo. So parang hindi ka pa ready to, to challenge yung current target or current standards. So ganun siya. Continuous improvement, yan. Continuous improvement is very essential, especially for those who are now working, mga kasama natin ngayon sa session, and even just mga students. No, when you enter yung corporate setup, you have to have the hunch to find yung mga opportunities for improvement. You might be wondering bakit lugaw. When I created this whole deck, ito yung kasagsagan ng issue na hindi daw essential yung lugaw. So, continuous improvement, just like lugaw that time, no, I think months ago, essential siya. Kailangan siya ng isang individual as a skill set and kailangan siya ng isang organization as a form of culture. Okay? Now, how do we deliver improvement? So, as you can see here, we deliver improvement by focusing on the reduction of waste. Ayan. So, maybe some of you are familiar. Waste are non-value adding activities or mga processes sa ating organization. That also involves collaboration, eliminating redundancies, which is actually part of the waste, ensuring quality. Ayan. At every step of the way. For a lean organization, the process is something like this. No? First, we establish the purpose of what we want to do. So, syempre, ang isang organization, ang gusto natin ay magkameron tayo ng culture of continuous improvement. Okay? And then we apply a structured approach. So depende po yan kung anong gusto nyong gamitin. We have so many approaches that you can choose from. We have, kanina nabanggit ng ilan sa inyo that we have, or you know already what is lean. Meron sa inyo iba alam PDCA, meron alam sa inyo 5S, merong Six Sigma. So whatever po yung alam ninyo or napili nyo na approach, yun po yung papasok dun sa second bullet, which is the process or a structured approach. And then kasama din po doon yung pag-develop sa ito. I believe that this is the very important element in a continuous improvement culture or setup, the people. You have to equip your people with the right tools and equipment or techniques, di ba? Para makapag-deliver sila ng improvement. So walang kwenta kung, halimbawa, maganda nga yung purpose ng isang organization for continuous improvement, may maganda siyang structured approach, pero the people inside the organization cannot facilitate the use of the approach, baliwala. So we have to be very critical on the people component or people part, no? So here naman, this particular slide wants to give us a picture of what is the setup, no? Yung po mga continuous improvement kasi nowadays, they could start from top, ibig sabihin top given ng top management, or let's say for example of your boss, of your VP or your director, no? Parang sabi, sige Felix, gawin mo tong improvement na to. So yun yung ibig sabihin ng top-down approach. Yun namang bottom-up, ang ibig sabihin nun, parang si Felix or ako, nakakita ko ng opportunity, then nag-act ako. No? May ginawa ako para ma-capture ko yung opportunity na yun, and then, kumbaga, para makakapag-improve ako dun sa process ko. No, wala akong hindi ako sinabihan. Meron akong kusa, parang gano'n yung ibig sabihin nun. Ano po? So, that could be two approaches. And these things that could happen, this entails change. Ayan, di ba? So, kahit pa top-down yan or bottom-up yung approach, continuous improvement could be either way. And for as long as it delivers positive change to the organization, okay tayo doon. Okay? Yeah. So, continuous improvement, sabi dito, sometimes called continual improvement in some contexts, is the ongoing improvement of products, services, and processes through incremental and breakthrough improvements. So kung makikita nyo po dito, yan, kanina pinag-usapan natin yung purpose, meron din tayong mga process, makita nyo yung mga elements na yan. Ayan. So kasama din dyan yung mga tinatawag na process management. So I always tell my mentees and during my talks that process management is a very important concept. Ito yung paano mo minamanage yung process mo in such a way na meron ka ba documented na procedure, meron ka bang data collection process para malaman mo whether nagpe-perform pa ng good or hindi good yung process mo. And things like that. Kailangan po natin yon, no? Kailangan din syempre natin ng way on how to capture yung ating process at saka kung paano mag-analyze. So diyan papasok yung mga tools and techniques natin. And all of those are facilitated by what we call employee engagement. So kaya mahalaga yung people part. And this will later on be converted into important and critical decisions for the business, no? Through this what we call na continuous improvement na mga elements, right? So what are the process management roles? We're talking about process management kanina. And so we have different roles to fill in. Siyempre, nandyan yung role ng customer to provide the input and to expect the output. Yung process na gagamitin, again, yung staff or yung people, sino nag-o-own ng process, meaning sino yung, for example, sino yung assigned? Si operations ba to? Si quality ba to? Si marketing ba to? Si supply chain ba to? Etc. etc. And also we have the leadership, which is very important. No? Continuous improvement will not happen as a culture, either pre-pandemic or yung ating new normal or next normal without a strong leadership that backs it up. So nandyan yung strategy, yung vision, yung empowerment, and then the approaches. Process manager, so pwede siya rin yung process owner, pero most of the time, yung consolidated na mga processes, may isang process manager na nagre-report noon. So again, di ba sabi nga natin, you cannot improve something that you don't measure. Kaya kailangan ng mga tao na magme-measure at magre-report. So kasama din po dyan yung pag-audit, no? Ano yung mga risk na associated, ano yung kung nagko-comply ba tayo dun sa mga processes o sa mga protocols, information management like yun yung pagpapublish ng mga work instructions, pag-create ng mga manuals, ayan. Change management, as mentioned earlier, there will be changes whenever there is continuous improvement. So we have to learn how to manage change, kaya magkakabit po na konsepto yan. And ICT integration or yung mga ginagamit nating technology or platform para mapangyari yung continuous improvement in our organization. So ayan, ganyan yung picture ng continuous improvement. So sabi nga natin, there are a lot of improvement methods and maybe one of the most popular is the combination of Lean and Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma. No? So Lean thinking, which is from Toyota, diba? By Taiichi Ohno way back 1940s. Nandyan yung ang objective natin is to eliminate the all non-value adding parts of a process to make it faster, to make it leaner. Diba? While Six Sigma, on the other hand, it started way back Motorola days, adopted by many American companies, no? Popularized by Bill Smith and co-created by Dr. Michael J. Harry. Ang objective naman is to reduce the amount of variation so that the products and the services, no, well, basically the processes is better. So combining the two body of knowledge, ayan, we then created or they created a more optimal na approach for doing faster and better na mga quality products, services, and processes. So ilan lang yan sa mga improvement methods na pwede nyong gamitin under continuous improvement. So ito po yung ilan sa mga pwede nyong gamitin. No? We have design thinking. Kung makita nyo dyan based sa Gartner report, we have design thinking. We have design sprint na rin. We have mga agile scrum. We have yung lean startup na mga framework. So there are a lots, no? So kaya moving forward, wag kayong magugulat na, uy, maybe some of you are familiar with Lean Six Sigma pero ay hindi na pala siya relevant. Or hindi naman sa hindi relevant pero may iba na pala na pwede rin gamitin kasi hindi naman po Lean Six Sigma lang ang sagot sa problema ng mundo, di ba? So depende po yan sa nature ng problem. So as we evolve, as we face and we embrace the new normal, the next normal, marami na rin po nauuso na iba-iba pa mga frameworks that we can use. Now, not only the frameworks and models that we already know. Yan. Okay? So, lahat ng yan, kung mapapansin nyo, sila ay process-based. They are all process-based because, di ba, when we have processes, ang focus naman natin lagi yung process. We as the human component, we only access yung mga process and we only do what is documented. Okay? Now, yung process, ganito yung alam natin. Na parang smooth, walang problema, di ba? Pero yung totoo niyan, yan, sabi dito, how we think the process works. Topmost of this particular slide, ang simple lang. How does the process actually work? Ang komplikado pala. Pero yung totoo nun, how could it work? What is the ideal state? O, di ba, kung mapansin nyo, ilan to? Mga around 10 steps. Yung una, yung pangalawa, parang around 15 steps. Pero in reality, kaya pala siya sa 5 steps. So yung mga continuous improvement models na to and frameworks na to, ginagamit natin to simplify processes so that it will use less resources, so that it will be more predictable. So yung quality mas mataas yung ina-expect natin. So that mas maging efficient siya for the use of everyone inside the organization and for us to deliver delight, customer delight to our customers. Yan. Now, given that kumbaga mindsetting muna, ito na yon, how to avoid the pitfalls of the continuous improvement initiatives in the new normal. So I'll be sharing with you some of the best practices in terms of how to avoid these pitfalls very quickly. Yan. So if you have questions, please keep them, write them on your notes para mamaya ma-facilitate during the Q&A. Okay? So let's start with understanding the drivers that push for change in your organization. So mahalaga that whenever you start a change or continuous improvement initiative inside your organization, you always have to anticipate again change. And this change will be less of yung kumbaga yung friction or resistance natin if people that are involved in this continuous improvement initiative, regardless of the period, whether pre-pandemic or during the pandemic or next normal, alam nila kung para saan yung mangyayari. So you have to make them understand and appreciate, embrace that these are items that we need, di ba? Para po maging mas effective and efficient yung mga processes natin. Okay? Sabi dito, preparation is the key. So here are some guide questions. So mahilig po kasi tayo sa mga guide questions. Like, are you developing ideas linked through strategic objectives? So mahalaga na when you do continuous improvement, you always it up with the strategic objectives. Yan, mahalaga ang planning, no? And engagement, syempre, with people who will be part of the continuous improvement initiative or the change. Yan. So, meron ba tayong maayos na implementation plan? Again, you have to anticipate risk, you have to anticipate change, no? Or resistance to change, to be more specific. Yung mga lessons learned natin, kailangan we have a way on how to capture them and to report them para din hindi na mangyari dun sa iba na gagawa ng continuous improvement projects. And syempre yung budget, tsaka yung schedule, mahalaga yan, no? Mahalaga yun ng mga elements. Well, this will all boil down to one critical factor, which is the preparation. Okay? Choosing the correct tool for the job is more important than ever. Napakahalagang konsepto, no? Maraming tools ang continuous improvement. Hindi porke alam natin siya, kailangan natin siyang i-apply, no? Kailangan pipili tayo ng tama na tool na pwedeng i-apply. And that is where the wisdom will come into the picture. Maybe some of us are new sa organization or new sa work. So syempre may tendency tayo na, sige, pag alam ko tong tool na to, parang i-fit in ko dun sa problem or opportunity para magbukang cool. So hindi kailangan, no, there are problems na kailangan lang natin i-simplify, malaman kung ano yung mga root causes, 'di ba? Yun yung usual na ginagawa natin. And the tool maybe to address that particular gap or opportunity could be a simple tool. So, ang importante dito is we identify kung ano yung talagang kailangan para dun sa specific na problem or opportunity, and then we try to apply it. Yan. So, kung medyo nalilito kayo, there is mentorship that is available for you. No, especially yung mga nakasama na natin sa mga programs natin. So you can ask Lex. So you can ask us, no, here at Aztec Speech Academy if you have para confusions at first on what tools could be used or what is the correct tool for this particular scenario, no? Next, metrics. So mahalaga na, again, kailangan i-measure natin kung ano yung ginagawa natin or ano yung gusto nating i-start. Halimbawa, gusto mo mag-improve ng attendance. Pero hindi mo naman mini-measure yung attendance. Di ba? Parang ang hirap. Kaya nga sabi nga ni Lord Kelvin, you have to measure, you have to measure something that you want to improve or you cannot improve something that you don't measure. Ayan. So sabi nga ni Ma'am Darlene, KPI or Key Performance Indicators. Kaya whenever I teach continuous improvement, I always ask, anong KPI mo? Di ba? So are the metrics you have in the place telling the full story? Kasi database tayo. Do we tie up our improvement suggestions to expected improvements in operational metrics? Diba? Are we able to see the results in real time? So mahalaga na meron tayong way to collect the data and how to monitor yung ginagawa nating improvements through data pa din. No? Next, leadership. Diba? So kailangan papakita natin yung vision, yung leadership. What does success look like for your company? So, ito ay responsibilidad ng leadership or ng top management. Pero as a continuous improvement or practitioner, you can influence them na maging ganito ang kanilang attitude towards the continuous improvement initiatives that you're trying to introduce. So, has the strategy for achieving the vision been set? Yan. Kaya mahalaga na kung ano yung gusto mong gawin, naka-align sa gustong gawin ng organization para hindi mahirap mag-influence ng ibang tao. Do you have the right resources? Do everyone on the team understand their role? Again, so hindi lang alignment ang mahalaga, team dynamics and team management. Does failure equal termination or does it identify new opportunities? So be very careful. Alignment is a good thing, pero hindi ibig sabihin na pag nag-fail tayo on the set goals, 'di ba, parang ano na tayo, ligwak na tayo, no? We don't instill yung culture by instilling fear. We have to influence them positively. Yan. So it will start from our top management, of course. Talking about teams, we have to learn, 'di ba? Yan, favorite ko na movie, Avengers, 'di ba? So may mga conflicts, 'di ba? May mga conflicts sila, pero at the end of the day, nagtutulong-tulong sila, ginagamit nila yung mga strengths nila, no? Yung individual strengths nila and whatever they can do and contribute para ma-achieve yung objective ng project or objective ng initiative. Is your team truly cross-functional? Do they want to be involved? Yan, very important to assess whether they want to be involved. If not, you are bound to fail. And syempre, you have to use mga tools and techniques to identify their actual roles, their actual responsibilities. Yan. And syempre, don't forget to communicate. Very important. Over-communicate if possible. So, let's put it all together, lahat ng shinare ko for this very short session that I have for tonight. So, kailangan syempre, di ba, purpose, kailangan natin ng process at kailangan nating i-involve yung mga people. And kailangan data-driven tayo, no? Meron tayong vision and the rest of the key takeaways na nakuha nyo, yan. Mahalaga yon na elements para makabuo ng continuous improvement, especially for the next normal. Now, how is the next normal in terms of continuous improvement looks like? So, CI moving forward, number 1, methods for sustaining improvement will get more attention. So, meaning, yung ginagawa natin ngayon, halimbawa, meron kayong mga process na nakadocument, may ginagawa kayong mga simpleng improvements. Believe me, guys, because of the pandemic, because of what is happening or what has happened, because of the transition to the Industry 4.0, lahat yan ay magi-evolve, no? Hindi man one snap, pero unti-unti magi-evolve yan because nandyan yung need, no? So magi-evolve yung how we capture yung mga data, magi-evolve yung how we apply yung mga tools and techniques, magi-evolve yung how we do projects, lahat yan sabay-sabay magi-evolve. Number 2, organizations will standardize on continuous improvement methodologies. There are already organizations that are mature enough na nandito na sa state na to, pero marami pa ring organizations, especially here in the Philippines, na wala man lang continuous improvement framework na ginagamit. And your role maybe as a continuous improvement practitioner and advocate is to help these organizations. Kung member ka ng organization na wala pang CI, then be the beacon of hope para sa organization na to. Start yung continuous improvement initiative in your organization. And then eventually standardize it para at least mas makapture natin kung ano yung gusto talaga nating makuha. Bakit tayo nag-start ng continuous improvement sa ating organization. Number 3, project teams will grow more diverse. No? Ako, I've experienced teams cross-functional, cross-cultural. And because of what happened nga, nakita natin na kahit nasa bahay ka lang, mapapangyari mo yung mga projects. No? So, ganyan na yung magiging trend natin ngayon. So, kahit mga nasa ibang lugar sila, ibang bansa, pwede mo sila maging ka-teammate or team member. So, yung magiging diverse, meaning kailangan ng mas galing na pag-handle ng team, yung team dynamics or team management. So magiging ano pa rin yan, in demand pa rin moving forward. And last but not the least, as I end, there will be a broader adoption of continuous improvement technology. Not only the framework, but also yung mga technology. I can still remember dun sa aking previous organization, we use a platform to monitor projects. Kung approved na ba siya, kung na-reject ba siya, ano yung deliverables, yan. Syempre, nandyan din yung mga pang-analyze like the Minitab, di ba na software. Ngayon, data analytics. May mga Tableau na tayo, may R, may Python. So, lahat ng yan ay unti-unting i-adapt because ito na yung kailangan. Data-driven yung ating continuous improvement. No? So, again, methods for sustaining improvement will get more attention. Organizations will standardize on continuous improvement methodologies. Project teams will grow more diverse. And last but not the least, there will be a broader adoption of continuous improvement technology. Okay, so as I end, I want to leave you a quotation from Albert Einstein. So if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. So I guess that's the end of my slides. Thank you, and I'm now open to any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much for that wonderful talk, Engineer Veroya. So, alam mo, Rahim, sobrang dami kong natutunan. Talagang sinilagay ko sa notes ko at i-save ko talaga ito ng pangmatagalan. Lalo na sinabi ni Sir na you cannot improve what can't be measured. Kaya kailangan nating i-analyze yung bagay na gusto nating i-improve. And meron pa. Apat tong ni-notes ko. Yung change is constant. Kaya kailangan natin ng continuous improvement para mag-adapt lalo na sa needs ng customers natin. Kasi kapag hindi tayo nag-adapt, mawawala yung product natin sa market kasi hindi na nila magugustuhan. Yung pang-tatlo, understand
Dalawa pa.
the change para alam po kung anong dapat i-improve.
Mhm.
And yung last kong ni-note ay importance of choosing the right tool. Kasi hindi magiging maganda yung output kung mali yung gagamitin nating tool sa pag-i-improve ng isang bagay po.
Sa akin naman parang kinuha lahat ni Shane yung options na pwede ko sabihin. Pero yun, nag-note po ako ng isa. Ang nilagay ko po, sana mag-think si Sir sa akin din. Ang doon sa pinakaunang part lang sinabi ni Sir, yung napakahalaga ng people kasi parang in-overlook ko yung people para din sa process.
Yes.
So yun, parang napakahalaga ng people kasi yun nga, what if binigyan mo ng maayos na tools and maayos na process, pero pag hindi nag-participate yung people mo, wala rin mangyayari.
Totoo. Sobrang mahalaga ang people. So I hope
Sorry kasi
you
siya.
all enjoyed his amazing presentation. And I think Engineer Viroya is now open to answer some question. If you have something to ask him, pwede niyo pong ilagay sa ating chat box yung inyong pong tanong at babasahin po namin.
Participants,
So
huwag
kayong
na po mahiya.
mahiya
Huwag mahihiyang magtanong.
kung charot.
Ask na kayo, guys. Guys, ask na kayo. Ask Lex PH nga. Huwag na kayo mahiya. Ako pala, Shane, nanala ko nung first Congress natin ng second year tayo sa field. Yung first na inattenda natin, sobra kong inadmire. Simula pa noon, si Sir Felix.
Sa BSU ba yan nangyari?
Sa BSU Malvar.
Okay.
Sobra kong inadmire. Nahiya ata. Sobra kong inadmire kasi sobrang ganda ng speaking voice. Tapos siya po yung first speaker, di ba?
Oo.
Nalala ko before yung sobrang lamig ng ambience kasi sobrang lamig nga sa gym ng BSU Malvar. Tapos si Sir Felix nandun nga sa unahan. Yun, no?
Talaga mapipilita ka makinig kasi sobrang engaging lagi ng topic,
Sobrang
no?
ganda ng talk. And ano pa ba nangyari na?
Ako yung mukhang mga session participants natin, mukhang kailangan talaga ng GCash nitong mga MCs
sir,
natin
para
ngayon.
mag-
Kasi ang lakas
akala
ng
ko
Tayo pala
kawalan.
yung tinutukod.
So kangan namin.
Pero yun po, ito po, may nag-ask
May
po ata
nagtanong
ng
na po
question.
yata.
Ito po, anonymous po. Are there any ways or methods po to let everyone in the team adapt to change? And how can change be adapted smoothly po?
Ayan, so thank you for that question. Though hindi natin alam kung sino yung nagtanong, no? Well, ako kasi I'm a fan of models. When you say models, hindi yung mga rumarampa sa catwalk, ha? Models, yun yung parang, for example, DMAIC. DMAIC is an example of a model or framework. So just like Six Sigma has a DMAIC approach, may tinatawag tayong ADKAR model for change management. Yan. So yung ADKAR, yan, type ko dito yung ADKAR sa ating chat box. ADKAR model. So ibig sabihin ng ADKAR, it's a way for you to run through kung ano yung change. So from awareness level to knowledge level to acceptance, yung ganyan, hanggang sa reinforcement. So merong structured approach on how you can communicate the change that will happen or that is happening to your team members. Kasi definitely by culture kasi or by human behavior, ayaw natin na babaguhin yung isang bagay na naggumagana naman, na okay naman, 'di ba? So by following proven methodologies or models, kumbaga step-by-step process yan, yun lang yung kailangan natin gawin. We go through the structured process of how to make the change understood and communicated across our organization or our team members. I think that will do the trick. Pero hindi palagi. No, there could be special cases na kailangan mo talagang, kumbaga, halimbawa ako, if I'm the leader of this particular project and I told my teammates na ito, ganito siya, or I told a big audience na ganito siya mangyayari, pwedeng hindi mag-work kasi iba-iba yung type ng stakeholder na tinatawag. It's another term. You can actually take note of that. Kung interesado kayo, you can ask me after this session then, or maybe if you are a researcher type, pwede yung research. Pag may stakeholder kasi na ayaw na parang sabay-sabay na nalalaman yung mga bagay-bagay. Gusto, parang pupuntahan mo siya personally, explain mo sa kanya. So, you have to understand first yung nature din ng mga team members mo. So that you can, again, choose the right tool, di ba? So that you can apply the right approach para mas maintindihan at ma-appreciate niya yung change na mangyayari. So, I hope I was able to answer your question. Kung sino man po yung nagtanong.
Mhm.
So yon. For the second question po, what if may sudden changes po? Possible po may effect yung sa organization, or how can the team can keep up on that?
Okay, so hindi ko alam kung yung sudden change. Thank you for the question. I don't know if the sudden change is because of, in a project context or in the context of organizational change. Kasi marami tayong type of changes, di ba? We have individual changes, we have process changes, we have organizational changes. Well, if this is something about organizational changes, the answer would be the same dun sa kanina kong sinabi. There should be a way or a structured approach on how whoever yung in charge dun sa change, kung paano niya mo-communicate yung change na nangyayari to the members of the organization. If this is something about process change, highly similar to that. Halimbawa, matagal mo nang ginagamit yung process ng pagluluto ng isang cuisine sa isang restaurant o sa isang fast food. Tapos sasabihin mo bigla, manager ka, baguhin mo 'yan. 'Di ba? How would you feel? Hindi mo siya basta babaguhin. Teka lang, bakit may tanong, bakit ko siya babaguhin? So, you have to make them understand. Yun yung key talaga doon. And then the approaches to how to make it understood sa end nila would vary. So, yun.
Next question po. Is lean manufacturing the same as Six Sigma?
Lean manufacturing is not the same with Six Sigma. They were combined approach, no? Pero magkaiba. Lean focuses more on speed. It focuses more on eliminating the non-value adding activities or process steps. Yung kumbaga parang hindi meron tayong tinatawag na downtime, no? Medyo baka mag-dive tayo na medyo malalim so I don't want to go to that. Pero like for example, pag yun nga, let's go to the fast food example. 'Di ba pag sa fast food, you want your food fast. Kaya nga fast food. So ayaw mo nang waiting, ayaw mo nang mali yung na-serve sa'yo. Those are the things na ina-address ng Lean. Yung Six Sigma naman, more of variation. So more of predictability. Because predictability, when there is predictability, the level of quality of products and services tends to be higher. Kasi mas predictable yung process. So yung mga variations o yung mga pagkakaiba-iba na ginagawa sa isang process, tinatanggal niya yun or nililimit niya yun. Yun yung ginagawa niya. And ano siya, data-driven. Parang halimbawa, fast food example ulit, magkakaiba yung, may standard pero iba-iba pa rin yung ginagawang diskarte halimbawa sa pag-assemble ng burger. No? Diba? Bakit kaya yung ibang pag-assemble, yung cheese, parang kalahati yung nakalabas. Iba naman, saktong-sakto. So parang yung variation na yun yung ina-address halimbawa ng Six Sigma. Inaalam bakit may mga ganitong mga karakteristik dun sa product or sa service na hindi nagko-conform dun sa expectation ng customer. So yung ina-address naman ni Six Sigma. Lean is practical, Six Sigma is more of statistical. When combined, mas okay, mas solid yung approach. Kaya nga siya naging Lean Six Sigma. Ayun po.
Thank you, sir.
So, next question is, how can we prepare and ready for the changes if we can't predict it po? Sabi po ni Roldan Vera.
Okay. So, well, yung changes, for example, what happened sa COVID. Yung COVID talaga, wala naman siguro mag-expect niya ng ganyan ka futuristic. Pero, like for example, yung mga hindi naman ganong phenomenal na change, yung mga simpleng biglang magba-brown out tapos maapektuhan yung operations. Or halimbawa, webinar. Simpleng webinar. Biglang yung host nawala ng internet, nawala ng kuryente. So tigil yung buong webinar. Diba? So it's in a sense of analogy or in the context of analogy, meron tayong tinatawag ng mga risk assessment at may mga tinatawag tayong mga business continuity planning. So ito yung mga approaches, ito yung mga techniques and tools na ginagamit natin para ma-anticipate kung ano yung mga possible na risk na or mga problems na pwedeng mag-arise and put mga action plans para ma-address yon whenever na mangyari yung mga problems na yan. So may mga ganoon tayong ginagawa para ma-lessen yung impact ng mga unexpected na mga changes na yun or mga problems. Yan.
Yun, sorry po. Sala yung pindot ko. What is the big impact of Lean Six Sigma and Kaizen for the smaller company this pandemic? From Julius Reyes po.
Yan. Thank you for your question, Julius. Well, sa amin, no, specifically sa amin, ayoko munang lumayo. ng example. Kami dito sa Asklex, we're considered as an SME pa rin, no? And we always think of ways on how we can reduce cost. Diba? So hindi porke malaking kumpanya sila lang nangangailangan ng cost reduction. Hindi malaking kumpanya lang ang nangangailangan ng continuous improvement. More than now na may pandemic, maraming nagsasara ng mga small and medium enterprises. We have to find ways on how we can stay relevant. And this is by continuously improving our processes, our products and services, making it more relevant. So I think malaki yung effect ng continuous improvement mindset or culture, especially sa mga maliliit na players sa industry or yung tinatawag nating small and medium enterprises. When we know for a fact na I think if my memory serves me right, the Philippines is composed of about 95% small and medium enterprises. Yan. So kaya yon. Isa yung sa advocacy na ginagawa namin, by the way. Yan. Siguro last question na kasi I don't want to eat the time of my next of the next speakers. Sorry, but if you have more questions, please reach us. You can reach me personally via Facebook, Felix Concepcion Beroya, or LinkedIn, Felix Beroya. Hanapin niyo na lang po sa LinkedIn. And sa page po namin sa Aztec Speech Academy.
Thank you very much, sir. Sobrang dami rin
Alright
questions. Pero I hope na i-forward pa rin, no?
Yes.
Facilitators natin yung mga natitirang questions. May isa pa po nakita ko kanina.
So yun. Pero if you still have question, you can send it on the chat box.
Sure. Maybe we can answer last.
Okay, yun last
Sige
daw.
po. Wait lang po. Ito
Ayun.
po.
Ano yung last question?
Kanina po at
sige.
the beginning of your talk, you said there must be standard to improve. How can we set this standard po? From Anonymous.
So I think RV, siguro nawala ng internet connection si Sir Felix, kaya
Unfortunately,
biglang
yun nga.
nawala. So, if mayroon pang question ng ating participants, you can send it on the chat box and our facilitator will make sure to forward them to Engineer Veroya. And yun po, para po masagot ang mga question niyo po.
Okay, I think by the time proceed sa available ba si Sir Joe sa ating sunod na speaker? Wait lamang.
Yes, andyan si Sir Joe.
Okay, at this moment, unfortunately, since hindi nga nasagot ni Sir Felix yung mga questions. Ayun, okay, let's go.
Sir, yan. Bumalik
Hello,
na sir.
Hello, sir.
Ayan, sige, proceed na lang tayo. Isagutin ko na lang offline. Pasensya na para hindi tayo kumain ng But if you have questions again, please you can direct it to me. Yan, para at least masagot ko po. So thank you again for giving me a chance to share my material to you tonight. And thank you.
Okay, thank you po, sir. Well, at this moment, we are now proceeding to our second speaker. Please let me do the honor to introduce him. To begin, he earned his bachelor's degree in industrial engineering at Colegio de San Juan de Letran, Calamba. In 2019, he earned his master's of science degree in industrial engineering at Mapua University. He also finished his master's degree in data science at IBM Singapore last year. Shane?
He is a seasoned supply chain management strategy associate, certified industrial engineer, associate ASEAN engineer, and certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belter. He was also able to publish researches about mathematical modelings, healthcare optimization, system engineering, and ergonomics.
Hindi na po natin papatagalin, so skip na po namin yung ibang parts. At present, he is the Industrial Engineering Department Chairperson of First Asia Institute of Technology and Humanities, Review Program Head of IXL Review and Training Center, and Chief Operations Officer of Asklex PH Academy. In this talk, our speaker will be presenting to us his knowledge about engineering leadership in the new normal. Without further ado, let us all give a warm welcome to Engineer Joshua I.L. Parisok. Let's give him a warm round of applause. Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir.
Hi, good afternoon. Ayan, nag-echo. Ayan, okay na. So, magandang gabi everyone. So, magandang gabi sa ating viewers. Magandang gabi sa mga nag-organize ng event under the Asterix PH Academy. No? So, good evening. So, for tonight, actually, we'll be discussing related sa Six Sigma and related doon sa first speaker kanina, which is Sir Lex. Okay, so for tonight, we'll be discussing about, walaan nyo. So we'll be discussing about leadership. Okay? So when we talk about leadership, no, so it emphasizes, or it is integral part of Six Sigma. So when you define Six Sigma, it is defined into 3M, right? So meron tong metric, meron tong method, at meron tong management. However, what matters is, or what separates us from the leadership and the engineering is that the way how you do it, the way how you execute things. So for tonight, okay, we'll be discussing how to become very effective engineering leader in the industry. Okay, so sa mga nakakilala sa akin out there, magandang gabi, no? So for tonight, we'll be discussing the leadership in the new norm. So before that, no, I'll be discussing first, sino ba ako? Yan. So who is Sir Joe? So for those who can access this one, so you may scan your this QR code so you can connect to me via LinkedIn. You can have my contact number and email address. No, so if you have questions after this event na hindi ko masagot, you can directly contact me through this one. So bakit ako ganito magpakilala? No? Kanina pinakilala ko as ganito kasi we believe in the data science field that after how many years, your data will be encrypted. And this is part of encryption. Okay? So, however, so bakit ba ako yung magsasalita about the engineering leadership? So, ano ba yung meron sa akin? No? So, about me yan. So, this is me way back 2014. So, when I received the leadership award from Letran Calamba, so I feel so honored until right now because it is alone, no? So nag-iisang award lang yan of all the graduates per batch. So we were able to balance their academics, leadership, and social responsibility. So ito yung ibang award, nakakatawa lang yun, like Shabupa Award, no? Kasi sobrang hyper ko nung college. Anyway, so that's one of my track kung bakit ako napunta sa leadership. No, so why do I really want to pursue a leadership career? Okay, so and was now able to serve young Filipinos out there as a chief operations officer. So ngayon, I'll be sharing with you ano yung mga skills I learned from the past that is very essential that you will have to learn in this new normal. So let's proceed, no? So I'll be talking about the 4 essential skills what makes a good leader in this new norm. So here are the 4 skills that you need to know. And mamaya i-emphasize natin, bawat skills. Una is communicating as a leader, developing your emotional intelligence, leading with empathy, and improving organization with tools. Okay, so let's start with number 1. Communication. So communication or communicating as a leader, it is very integral part when you have to communicate as a leader. Ano yung mga points dyan? You have to be first. You have to be clear and concise. Dapat ikaw sa sarili mo, alam mo yun at naiintindihan mo yung mga rules na or yung mga concepts na sinasabi mo. Okay? That's the first point. Be clear and concise. You have to provide enough detail and direction to avoid being ambiguous and eliminate any confusion from your audience. Now, how do we communicate as a leader? Pangalawa, use the appropriate cadence when communicating with employees. So, and when I say cadence, the posture, do you have to be very what you call that, intimidating? No, do you have to be persuading? Kasi you have different set of employees, so you have to use a very good or appropriate cadence when communicating with your employees. Not every time that utilitarian or authoritarian approach will accommodate your position. Okay? Hindi na rin ganun kasi yung tingin ng mga leaders or tingin ng mga tao sa leaders ngayon. What else? Use the appropriate channels for your communication. As a leader, first you have to respect the time of your employees. Maganda nito, you have to don't text them between 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. That is their personal time. So now, if you're going to communicate, so you have to communicate via email. You have to be clear with your people that, okay, let's reserve Facebook for personal approaches only, not for work. So which is why, actually, I'm telling my students that we have to communicate via email, we have to communicate via text or phone, not on FB kasi, honestly, no, yung FB ko, hindi siya ganun ka-presentable as work material, no? Kasi nandun yung personal, nandun yung mga personal space ko, na I don't want to be mix it with my professional space. So, first, you have to respect the space of your people, respect the time of your people, and use appropriate channel. And 4 point, encourage collaboration. Hindi pwedeng one way or ikaw lang ang nagsasalita. You have to listen to your people. When you're leading remote teams, especially, you lose that face-to-face interaction. You don't know the reaction of your people. This means that your tone, your instruction, and feedback can become lost in translation, okay, if you are not careful. What else? Too much information. Too much information can come across overbearing and very untrustworthy. Too little, you risk decreasing the productivity and employee engagement kasi nai-intimidate sila on how you communicate with your English, right? So, too much communication, it's not good. What else? If you already know being a leader, your calendar can fill up fast, no? Make sure you dedicate your time and set up your structured meetings with individuals and teams. The structure will allow everyone to fall into routine. You schedule yourself, okay? It won't feel like you are micromanaging them with random check-ins. Kamusta na yung ginagawa natin, no? So, kamustahin mo rin sila. Yan. So, it's just an important schedule weekly one-on-one meetings. Important yan, no? With employees to make sure you're getting the necessary time together to discuss your projects, you build connections, you continue supporting their development journey by offering what? By offering your availability to them. Your employees will feel that you value the relationship. Because when you lead a virtual team, it's quite possible that every individual resides in the same time zone, right? To maximize productivity of your employees or of your team, make sure that there are few hours of overlap for all employees on your team. That's your common time. This allows everyone to get that sense of team even when they are dispersed. Okay, so do you have your common time? So, yeah, use the appropriate channels for communication and set expectations on how your various communication channels are to be used. You discuss when it's appropriate to use the instant messages, the email, the webcam meetings, the Zoom. Okay, understand when the meeting is necessary versus a quick announcement. No one likes attending 1 hour long or hour-long meetings when the question could be addressed more efficiently in an email, right? Sana in-email mo na lang, boss. Okay? Actually, sumikat yung trend na avoid using noted as in your email. No? Kasi di ka mo talaga nagdo-notes after mo ma-email yan. So, i-reply natin. Sige, Lods, no? Salamat. No? So, ganun. So, you have to use a proper communication channel. So encourage collaboration because it can be easy for your remote team members to become withdrawn from the group and push through tasks alone. You can promote teamwork by collaborating yourself. Leading by example is a great way to get your fellow team members on board. Always remember that. Leading by example. So next, EQ, emotional quotient. As a leader, as an engineering leader, you have to develop your emotional intelligence. Building strong relationship is one of the most important things you can do as a leader. Sir, itong relationship na ba ito ay ano to? Um, platonic ba to? Hindi. Okay? So, as a leader with high emotional intelligence, this develops stronger relationships with their employees and empowers their team to the highest degree. Because the stronger the connections will improve one, culture, stronger connections will improve number two, collaboration, and lastly, the engagement level of your organization. You understand bakit kaya hindi nakakapag-output sa employee. Hindi dahil tamad siya. Maybe may pinagdadaanan siya. Maybe he or she needs an emotional rest from this one. Or you have to pull yourself together. Sige, mag-half day ka muna. No? Naiintindihan kita, you're grieving. Okay? And then you talk to me when you're okay. That's part of emotional quotient. Leaders who continually develop their emotional intelligence are better equipped to overcome challenging situations and inspire those around them to become the best versions of themselves. Okay, ganito. Sa lahat sa mga nakapanood na ng Squid Game, okay, anong sinabi ni participant 001 doon sa tug of war? No? Sorry sa mga spoilers. Sabi niya dito, importante yung leader sa tug of war. Bakit? Yung mga members sa likod, sa kanya lang titingin. Kasi titingin lang sa kanyang dedication, sa kanyang tapang, sa kanyang will manalo. That is part of the emotional quotient. Okay? Kung nakikita nila na that their leaders already depreciating their emotions, mas manghihina sila. Emotional intelligence is comprised of 4 major components. Okay, so we have self-awareness, we have social awareness, we have self-management, and relationship management. All of those components are equally as important and can benefit both the leaders and the team members. Okay, ulitin ko ha. Self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. Kasi you have to lead what? You have to lead with empathy. That's the third essential skill that you need to be an effective leader to this new norm. You lead with empathy. So, sir, what is empathy? It is being sure to pay extra attention to verbal and non-verbal cues. Hindi ba ang sweet kapag yung partner mo naaalala yung small things about you? Not because they memorize it, but because they pay attention to you. When you are talking, they pay attention to you. Okay? That is empathy. So, let's have an example. Let's say you are crying. Let's say malungkot ka. Sympathy is that, sorry, nakakalungkot naman yung nangyari sa'yo. Empathy is that you feel you feel how your employee feels. Nakakaiyak nga yan, no? You put yourself in their shoe. So, how to be empathetic? So, for example, may nasira, no? Kawawa ka naman, no? That's sympathetic. How to be empathetic? Best nasira yung laruan ko. Nakakalungkot naman yan. Halika, tulungan mo ako, ayusin natin yan. That's being empathetic. You know how it feels like, and therefore you know how to resolve those kinds of feeling. Okay, so that's being empathetic and sympathetic. You know, so be sure to pay extra attention to verbal and nonverbal cues. So as we mentioned, communication has its hurdles in the virtual environment. We lose that ability to read someone's intent through their body language, facial expression, and tone. Diba? Madaming nagkakaroon ng away sa text or sa chat kasi the message is composed of 90% tone and 10% content. Kung di mo alam yung tono, di ba? So, therefore, mahirap mag-lead, lalo na sa isang virtual environment. This means that when you conversate with your team, be sure to pay extra attention to verbal and non-verbal cues. When having conversations, you encourage the use of webcam to see the other person's facial expression and build that connection. It's very important that you build that connection. If one of your employees having hard time adjusting to a remote setting or has challenges with the time management, take the time to listen and understand how you can help. While the responsibility falls on the individual to perform at their job, kasi nga gagawin nila yon, you can set them up to success by providing resources to improve on soft skills. Okay? So another great way is to support your employees' growth and development is by encouraging them to establish connections outside the relationship. So you try to create mentoring program within your organization by pairing up newer employees, for example, with the more tenured individuals, right? So therefore, the idealistic will meet the tenureship, the experiential basis knowledge. By encouraging the mentor-mentee relationship, it's very good, no? Your employees can grow and develop in new ways. So, and the last point, pang-apat pala yan, the last point is that tools. Improving organization with online tools. So you must prioritize organization. The first thing you must do as a leader is set realistic expectations for yourself and your team. And the last is maximize your tools. So isa-isahin natin, no? So because if you really wanted to be an effective virtual leader, you must prioritize your organization with a variety of meetings and metrics to keep up with. It can be easy para mag-catch up sila for a never-ending to-do list. However, the first thing you must do as a leader is you set a realistic expectation for yourself and for your team. You can do this by, 1, creating a schedule to track the progress. Make sure everyone on your team understands the plan. And saan ba nila makikita yung schedule? Pangalawa, ano yung point no? Because that will provide a sense of transparency among your team members. When it comes to delegating the task, you have the visibility to see who has the time on their hands for additional project. Basic IE tool, the man-machine chart, dyan din nakikita yan. Then use the tools you already have, whether that to be a communication channel, document sharing site ba yan, or project management tool, katulad discuss kanina. Use these tools to your advantage. But actually, this requires digital literacy according to American Library Association. No? Digital literacy can be defined as the ability to use information and communication technologies to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information, requiring both cognitive and technical skills. So therefore, you have to have that digital literacy. And make sure that the members of your team understands how to use these tools. Okay? It's very important na alam nila kung paano gamitin yung mga tools na yan. You don't want this to become another hurdle, so take some time for specific tools training if you need it. Whether you're new to leading remote teams or still searching to find the right balance, no, you'll be heading on the right direction if you focus on these essential skills. Because we know that the current state of the world, no, has forced many organizations through transitions into a virtual environment. So therefore, it's very essential that you know how to do this one. So recap tayo, no? what makes you a good leader, this new norm. Communicating as a leader, developing your emotional intelligence, leading with empathy, and improving organizations with tools. Now, the first part is all about me, and the last part will be all about you. Who are you as an engineering leader? What skills you already have? What skills need improvement? And what skills you need to adapt na wala lang you need dyan. Okay? So, that ends my talk. So, therefore, what's next? Engage yourself, you break new ground, and be the best version of yourself. That ends my talk. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you for that, Engineer Palisok. Syempre, RV, hindi tayo mawawala ng insight sa mga sinabi ni Sir, no? Ako, nag-notes talaga ako.
Nakabahan ako ba? Walang recitation ko bukas kay Sir.
Ipapasa ka daw ni Sir basta maganda ang insight mo.
Proceed,
So
Sir.
ito, ang aking unang ano talaga, yung importance talaga ng good communication. Kasi, lalo with the team, no? Kasi kapag wala ng good communication, hindi mo maiintindihan at hindi ka rin maiintindihan ng mga ka-team mo. Lalo na ngayon, puro tayo online. Paano kayo magko-communicate? Iba kasi yung communication through chat at saka through face-to-face. Kapag face-to-face, nakikita yung emotion, mga ganon. And kapag chat, wala, binasa mo lang yung message. Isipin mo na lang, ano kayang emotion niya dito?
Si Shane halatang ano, no?
Hindi ka ba magbasa ng GM ko, Shane? The joke lang.
Tapos yun po, ano pa rin po?
Joke. By the way, estudyante ko kasi yan, si Miss Shane. Anyway.
Ako rin po, Sir.
Ako,
Si RV din ba?
Cortez po.
yun. Meron pa ako.
Ay,
May baon pa ako, sir. Be a good model for your team. Siyempre, gagayahin ka ng, as a leader, gagayahin ka ng team mo. Maganda talaga na maging good model ka para sa kanila.
Mhm.
And having empathy as a leader para makapag-communicate tayo ng ayos at maintindihan natin kung ano yung mga nararamdaman ng ating mga members or ka-team. Yun.
Sa akin naman is, nalala ko po kasi before nung grade 10 po ako, naging class mayor po ako. Then na-impeach po ako. Unfortunately, na-impeach ako after 2 months of being a student leader. Then, ayun po, buti po na after po na, syempre, after ma-impeach, na wala po yung confidence ko sa pagiging leader. Then, sinasimula po ulit nung nag-start po ako sumali sa first leadership training ng BSIES, which is, yun, marketing officer na po ako ngayon ng BSIES. Tapos eto na ako ngayon, nag-host. Anyway,
So yun, I hope you are all moved and touched by the talk of Engineer Palisok. We will now open the floor again to the participant so that Engineer Palisok can answer your question. If you have something to ask our engineer, you may now chat your question to our chat box.
remind ko lang din po pala na wag po muna kayong aalis kasi po
Meron
magkakaroon
pong
po ng
evaluation
evaluation.
link.
Mhm.
Yes po.
Tanong na kayo, guys.
Alam kong madami kayong tanong. Itanong nyo na, guys.
Ah, wait, parang yun ba sa chat kanina siya? Oops. Boom, tarat, tarat. Boom, tarat, tarat. Tararat. Oh, wala pa palang tanong. Ito pala.
Yan.
Yan.
For our first question, how to handle po yung mga employees na mahirap pasunurin?
Or yung mga estudyanteng mahirap. Pasunurin din. Sabay
Pasensya na
tago.
po.
Actually, it applies to everyone, no? Yan. Tama rin si RV. Paano mo po sunurin ang estudyanteng ayaw sumunod? Actually, may psychology behind kasi dyan. Una, bakit ayaw niya sumunod? Kasi first thing is, they feel that they know more than you. Pangalawa, they don't have respect on your position. Okay? And pangatlo, they don't feel respected by you. So therefore, ano yung controllable natin doon? Yung pangatlo, which is the very vital. Make them heard. Make them speak. You listen to them. Okay? And give points for their inputs. Kasi baka they really have some points in mind, no? And therefore, hindi yan makukuha ng isang gabi. No? You have to listen to them. And then you have to integrate your idea because the communication between you and your employee is part already of a big brainstorming. No? Mamili ka na ng role mo dyan. It's either you'll be the brain or you will be the storm. Diba? However, the principle behind brainstorming is that you integrate 'di ba? You improve the previous idea. So therefore, you listen to your people. And then you try to improve para mag-collaborate because they need acknowledgement. Those people na ayaw sumunod, they need acknowledgement. So I suggest to be a good leader, first you have to be a good member as well. And being a good member encompasses a good listening skills for your people as well. Okay, so I hope I answered the question.
Dahil pong question, sir. May bigla sumabog na 3.
Okay lang
Okay.
yan, okay lang yan.
So, any advice for the people, especially for me, na mababa ang self-confidence daw po?
Oh, kaya mo yan.
Actually, I believe that hindi ganun ka-requirement ang self-confidence to be a leader. Okay? Because I read a book, no? Ang sabi dito, the leader does not need members. A leader needs friends. 'Di ba? And if you don't have actually self-confidence, start leading yourself. Kasi in that way, hindi mo nalilid muna yung sarili mo because how can you lead someone if you won't able to lead for yourself? You believe yourself that you are worth it. Okay? You are there because you deserve it. Always take note that to yourself and never forget yourself in the process of the leadership. In that way, your self-confidence will eventually grow, not arithmetically but exponentially. And for that, maybe some other time magiging mas influential ka. Kasi you know how to strike the heart of your people. You understand your well so much that you were able to share your experiences to others. And that is already a form of leadership. So salamat for that question.
Yung isang pong question po is about din po sa sinagot nyo kanina. So skip na po namin yon kasi tungkol din po sa confidence as a leader yon. Okay, ang sunod po nating question is there a way to measure if one is a good leader na po? Tsaka if one is a good leader to some team members and to others, hindi. Okay, sorry. Is there a way to measure if one is a good leader na po? Tsaka if one is a good leader to some team members and to others, hindi. Will that leader still be considered an effective leader? Ganda nun ah.
Okay. Maybe yung others na sinasabi niya dito is not within the loop. Okay? It's not within the loop. Maybe, kunyari, yung manager mo, hindi naman magaling yan. Suplado kaya yung manager mo. Hindi kaya, no? Mabait kaya yung manager ko kasi kine-encourage nila lagi kami. Therefore, what difference it make? Your leader has only one goal for your people. Maybe you cannot, actually, no? You cannot please everybody and they have different points of view about your leadership, but it's for the member to validate that. It's not the others to validate your leadership. However, may mga metrics dyan. Ganito, no? Sooner or later, you become supervisors, managers. You try to be absent. You try to be absent for some other time and check whether your people are working. If they are working properly, therefore, kahit wala ka, therefore your leadership is effective. Okay? That's the calibration or that's one way how you measure a good leader. Because members don't need micromanaging. They don't need supervision because they were already supervised ahead of time, that they were able to lead themselves and lead their workplace. That is a good leader. Okay? Yung morals ng leader, it comes on another topic because the moral values depends on each of every individual. So, ayun po, no? May kanya-kanya objective yan within the group. Maybe, ayun nga, iba lang sila ng perspective, pero we believe that your leader has one good objective within your team. And you have to believe them.
Okay po, sir. Next question. With regards to different types of leader, is it possible for an introvert to be a leader?
Of course, yes. Sobrang maganda yung topic na yun, no? How do introverts become leaders? So, may mga ibang sikat na leaders, no, na introvert, and they were able to lead properly, right? Kasi introvert actually is just is your personality. Leadership is how you influence others. You don't have to be very active, okay, para makapag-influence. 'Di ba? Remember, may mga leaders na they have few words, but it's very striking. Those are people, no? Mga introvert sila because they spend more time of listening and choosing the right words. 'Di ba? However, they can lead properly. Believe in yourself. Wala yan sa pagiging introvert, ambivert, or extrovert. No? It's how you believe in yourself and how you share, no? How you share to or how you spread to others that believe, no? So, kasi kung hindi ka mismo maniniwala sa sarili mo, hindi mo rin mako-convince yung mga members mo maniwala na kaya mo. So, yun po for me.
So for
No,
maybe
wala pa
this is
rin.
our last question na po.
Super dami pa po, kaya siguro i-forward na lang po namin sa
Opo.
inyo, sir.
Yes.
So ito po. Good day po, sir. Paano mo po napanghahawakan ang mga hindi
Pagkakasunod.
pagkakasundo sa mga katrabaho o sa iyong ka-team?
Okay, good question. Actually, it applies to every relationship. No? Sabi sa anthropology, conflict makes the bond thicker. In conflict, nakikilala mo yung point of view ng ibang tao, no? Not necessarily na hindi ibig sabihin na pag may conflict within the team, hindi nag-work yung team. Actually, it's a good point because hindi lahat pareho ng viewpoint. And that's a good form of leadership because you were encouraging them to see beyond what is not seen. Kung yung siyam na tao naniniwala doon sa point of view mo at merong isa na hindi naniniwala, therefore, they are thinking critically. Therefore, you are enhancing their ability to see what you don't see because, di ba, hindi ka naman all overseeing God, di ba? So, therefore, may mga hidden points ka na hindi mo nakikita and they see. Therefore, nagkakaroon ng conflict, nagkakaroon ng argument. But stay it that way. Stay it as healthy as that way. Ikaw being the leader, ikaw yung hindi ikaw yung sawsawero, 'di ba? Ikaw si Ami si ba to si Ami Sanchez ba 'yon? Basta. Ayun, 'di ba?
Ami Perez po.
Ami Perez, si Ami Sanchez. Ikaw dapat si Ami Perez, 'di ba? Na you have to listen on both sides and ito yung pinaka-importante, you meet in the middle. Win-win yung scenario dapat. Yan. Trio tagapayo, no? Yeah. So, yeah, maganda rin may trio tagapayo pero being a leader, hindi ko you take both sides. Okay? You compromise on each other para hindi lumalim yung conflict. Kasi pa naging personal na yung conflict, ayan, diyan na talaga papasok si HR. May mga HR codes na diyan. Pero yung conflict na healthy, stay it as it is. It's a good form of leadership as well.
Ayan.
Unfortunately, sobrang dami talagang questions pero kulang na po tayo sa time. Kaya if may questions pa po kayo, pwede nyo rin po siguro i-message si Sir Palisok sa kanyang accounts.
Or kaya pwede rin naman dito sa ating comment or sa chat box para yung facilitators natin, i-forward na lang kay Sir Palisok. No?
Sobrang dami po talaga nag-ask, Sir. Hindi po namin nabagal na po yung
Broad topic talaga ang leadership.
Iba rin po kasi yung speaker. Nax!
Yes, na naman. Sir.
0936-651.
PSF.
Hello, Chief Finance Officer. Anyway, na-appreciate ko lahat ng tanong. Maraming salamat po for the platform to share the leadership experience. Salamat po for the MCs as well.
Thank you po, sir. So now, RV, I think we are already done with our first two speakers and kalahati pa lang ng program, talagang napakarami na natin natutunan. So make sure to stay until the end dahil meron pa tayong dalawa pang speakers for tonight. Kaya naman magkaroon muna tayo ngayon ng 5 minutes break para naman ma-fresh yung ating utak. Para may pasok pa tayong information kasi feeling ko nag-overflow na yung information eh.
Tama, no? Partner. Pero before yon, gusto ko ulit sila i-remind dun sa wag mo na aalis kasi yun yung mamaya magkakaroon ng evaluation link para sa kanilang mga e-certs din. Then i-remind ko ulit sila dun sa chance kung gusto nila manalo ng 100 pesos via GCash or PayMaya. For sure yun ang gusto nila eh. Wait lang
Sino ba
po.
namang ayaw? Ako din
Sino
naman.
nga?
Gusto ko din.
Ulitin ko ulit yung mechanics. First, watch our pre-conference live on September 23. Second, like our Facebook live and drop a comment. Or yung ang alam
YouTube.
yung YouTube live mismo kasi di po kami naka-live sa Facebook at the moment.
Yes.
The next po is share the live on your Facebook account with the hashtag GameOnConference. Then paki-public na rin po ng
Nang post nyo po.
paano ba yun? Yung paki-public ng post para mas malaki ang reach ng AskFlex PH Academy.
I also would like to thank our generous sponsors for making this event possible. Make sure to show your support sa kanila by following their social media account.
All right. To give our participants time to recharge and gain their energy, let us have a 5-minute break before proceeding to our third and fourth discussion. Please take note of the break time reminders posted on the chat box. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.
5 minutes lang.
Takbo na sa CR. Kain na rin kayo.
Clap. Go. Clap. Go.
Okay, Shane?
And now we're back.
We're back, guys. Kamusta naman ang inyong Kigoshi?
5 minutes. Ang 5 minutes ko, uminom lang ako ng tubig para yung lalamunan ko ay mabasa ng konti. Tapos, nag-check ako ng messenger.
Ako
Ay,
naman
ikaw.
is after nun yun. Tumanda lang ako dito.
Tapos hinga-hinga
Gusto ko
lang ng
lang,
konti.
Okay na ako dun.
Medyo natutuwa tayo sa compliment na natatanggap natin, no?
Oh, lalo na tawag yung sobrang overwhelming na sobrang daming nagtatanong sa ating mga speakers kanina.
At ang dami ding participants talaga.
Pero yun nga, before ako mag-proceed sa aming third na speaker, patingin nga kung buhay pa, kung active pa.
Buhay pa! Buhay sila!
Pa-check kung active pa ating mga participants by chatting the heart emoji sa ating chat box. Pabilisan. Bibigyan ko ng piso.
Pahingi ng puso. Yan, ako naman ang bibilis.
Ang bibilis.
Active pa sila. Pangitang-pangita.
Dapat ito yung around mga 250 makikita ko. Ang dami nga, grabe oh. Nasabog yung
Oo naman, nakakatuwa
chat namin.
naman na kayo ay participative talaga. At saka, diba talagang nakikinig sila sa atin.
Wait lang. Sobrang dami nga oh. Nakabasa ko na kanina, tuloy-tuloy, para nagbibilang, parang per second. Okay, Shane, proceed
Okay
tayo.
na. Because of that, I'm sure that everyone is ready to listen to our third speaker for today. Before we introduce her, I just want to remind again that if you have questions for the speaker, kindly send them to the chat box below.
For our next speaker, let me do the honor of presenting her to everyone gathered here at this moment. To begin, she is an industrial engineering alumna of De La Salle Lipa, who graduated last July 2020 with an academic distinction award. She was a student leader for 5 years, where she served as the Batangas Society of Industrial Engineering Students president from school year 2019 to 2020.
Aside from that, she is also a certified Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt and certified internal quality auditor, where her skills are being applied to her current job as an operational excellence team member at an e-commerce fulfillment company. She is also the head of strategic partnerships of Asklex PH Academy, where she is working closely with various organizations across the country.
We should not let everyone wait anymore, for all of us are getting really excited. Now, let us all welcome her with our radiating and warmest welcome. Bigyan natin siya ng clap emojis. Engineer Zea Mary Rose Gutierrez. Hello, Ate Z.
Hi po. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry. Hi, good evening. I'm sorry. Nakamute pala ako a while ago. So, I hope okay pa kayo and the break was enough for you. So, ayan. So, to start, I would like to ask the participants to access this QR code or to go to www.meti.com and enter the code 56976110. So it will be a short survey lang kung sino ang mga participants natin ngayon and kung active pa ba kayo. Gising pa ba? Ayan. Yan, mukhang marami na nag-a-answer. Nakakatawa naman na ang dami nating engineering students na participants tonight, and we also have young professionals and siguro marami ng years of experience yung nasa others. So, yeah. I'm actually happy na maraming engineering students, young professionals, since ang talk na ito is more on focusing on engineering students, young professionals, new to the company. And syempre, since we're talking about engineering, it will also benefit or makaka-relate din ang mga may mas matagal pang years of experience. Yeah, looking great. Ayan. So I think I can close this one na, and to start, Sorry. I will have to stop share first and then share again. So the title of my presentation is Metamorphosis from Engineering to Engineer in the New Normal. Why? Kasi damang-dama ko yan. Gumraduate ako nung new normal na or height pa ng pandemic last year. So through this metamorphosis, nag-transform ako into an engineering student to an engineer in a span of months. And to experience it in the new normal, hindi siya madali. And sobrang naninibago tayo kung ano ba yung mga formula na gagamitin natin para makapag-adjust sa bago nating environment.
Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is the process of dramatic change in the life of an organism. One type is called complete metamorphosis. Complete metamorphosis begins when an insect, like a butterfly, lays an egg. The egg hatches into a worm-like creature called a larva. A caterpillar is the larva stage of metamorphosis in a butterfly. The job of the larva is to eat and store energy. Next, the larva makes a pupa. During the time in the pupa, the organism develops complex organs that emerges as an adult butterfly. A grasshopper goes through a different type of metamorphosis. The other type of metamorphosis is called incomplete metamorphosis. This type of metamorphosis starts with an egg. The egg hatches into a nymph. The nymph looks like an adult insect, except it may be lacking organs such as wings. As the nymph grows, it will shed its exoskeleton during the process of molting. A grasshopper may molt several times before becoming a fully developed adult. Other organisms, like frogs, go through metamorphosis as well. Frog eggs hatch into tadpoles. As the tadpole grows and develops, it starts to lose its tail and grow legs. All types of metamorphosis start with an egg. However, complete metamorphosis has a larva and a pupa stage. Incomplete metamorphosis has a nymph stage, and both types end with an adult. The adult is fully developed and can lay eggs to start the life cycle all over again. Metamorphosis.
So, ayan, I prepared that short video to understand din or to present with you kung ano nga ba ang metamorphosis. So, dito nakita nyo na complete man or incomplete, nagkaroon ng major changes sa buhay ng either a butterfly or ng mga frog na nakita nyo kanina. So, ganun din tayo from engineering student to engineers. Marami tayong pinagdaanang stage at hindi mapapagkailan ang daming proseso at kung ano-ano yung mga na-experience natin at natutunan natin for each stage. So, ano nga bang stage 1? Ito ang egg and ito yung engineering student ka pa lang. So, minsan nga mapapaisip ka, bakit ba ka nag-engineering pag nandito ka na sa engineering, right? So, ano nga ba yung mga experiences mo during stage 1 or nung estudyante ka pa? Problem sets. Hindi mo papagkailan na marami tayong sinasagutan. Mapa-calculus man yan, thermo, strength of materials, sobrang dami, assignments, or minsan yun pa nga yung exams. And may times na dalawa lang yung problem sets for exam, pero nagkakaroon pa rin tayo ng challenges. Next is may mga research papers tayo. Meron tayong FS or feasibility study, meron din tayong thesis. Minsan, hindi na tayo natutulog para matapos yung mga research papers and inagdag pa yung problem sets. And lastly, meron tayong syllabus na pina-follow. What is the syllabus? So yung syllabus, yun yung mga summary ng topics to be discussed per subject. So nung stage 1, defined kung ano yung mga subjects na i-discuss and kung ano yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga topics. Ito ba yung i-discuss per midterms? Ito ba yung coverage ng finals? So through a syllabus, determined and systemized yung step-by-step na ginagawa mo sa school. At ito naman yung mga goals mo during stage 1. First, short-term goal mo is makapasa sa each subject. Kasi syempre, ginagapang na nga natin kada term before, right? So, ito, ang goal natin is makapasa per subject. Ginagawa natin na minsan pa nga may mga bagsak tayo. So, tapos kakomputin agad natin, ay, ano yung kailangan kong grade sa finals? Diba? Next is yung long-term goal naman natin. Siyempre, graduating. Lahat naman tayo dumaan dyan. And sobrang fulfilling kapag nakita mo na yung pangalan mo dun sa list of graduates. Siyempre, popost mo agad sa Facebook yan kasi siyempre, ang laking achievement nun. Daming sleepless nights. Tapos, biglang in-announce na graduate ka na. So, hindi lang ikaw yung masaya for yourself, nandiyan ang family mo, ang friends mo, and yung co-engineering students mo to celebrate. Next is yung mga skills developed during or yung mga learnings ng stage 1. Una, analytical. So, nakuha natin to dahil sa maraming problem sets na pinag-solve natin. Minsan nakala natin wala siyang sense. Akala natin, bakit ba ako nagsasagot nito? Pero you realize after na mas madali mo nang maintindihan yung mga bagay-bagay dahil na-exercise na yung utak mo through those problem sets. Next is communication. Siyempre, lalo na kapag iba na yung kagrupo mo sa mga research paper, kaya may groupings pa sa ibang subject. Tapos, malilito ka na. Tapos, sobrang busy. And dito mo madedevelop yung healthy communication with your group members. Kasi, through communication, meron kayong common goal na matapos kung ano man yung pinapagawa sa inyo. Next is time management. So, dito papasok yung paano mo pagkakasyahin yung lahat ng mga kailangan mong gawin para sa quarter na to or sa SEM na to. Sometimes, malalaman mo na, ay, may quiz pala bukas. So, ilang oras lang yung i-google ko for tonight. And then, sobrang daming quizzes tomorrow. So, ano yung uunahin mo? Through time management, dito, madedevelop mo na may mga tools kang magagamit. So, minsan, maglilist ka na ng mga task mo for the night. Kaya, naglalagay ka na kung ano mga ipaprioritize mo. Minsan, isipin mo, ay, bukas ko na to aaralin, may vacant kami. May 2 hours vacant kami. So, dito, malalaman mo na meron kang time management, hindi lang para sa sarili mo, kundi related din sa goal na meron ka. Next is teamwork. So, syempre, nung estudyante naman tayo, hindi naman palaging individual. Tayo pa nga ang hihingi na by group palagi, di ba? So, through teamwork, nade-develop mo na yung mga things na hindi na wala ka pa before. And katulad ng mga nabanggit ni na Sir Jojo kanina, kapag nasa within a team ka, ay nakikita mo kung ano yung mga perspective ng bawat tao. Kaya nga healthy ang isang conflict na nabanggit kanina ni Sir Jojo. So through teamwork, nagkakaroon kayo ng common goal para matapos kung ano man yung pinapagawa. And nade-develop nyo rin sa isa't isa yung empathy. Syempre, for example, nagagalit ka na kasi hindi nagre-reply. yung ka-team mo. So, doon mo makikita na paano mo i-work out yung team mo dahil different types of people kayo or paano mo sila kikilalanin. Sometimes, merong mga hindi talaga ma-reach kasi biglang nawala ng wifi nung bumagyo. Kung nakarelate kayo, yung mga taga Batangas nung, I guess, 2 weeks ago. So, paano kung biglang nawalan kayo ng power? And may submission na tomorrow. So, nandyan yung pagiging pagkakaroon ng empathy ng leader and ng other team members. Next stage is the larva or the nymph. So dito, magre-review ka na para sa certification or sa boards or mag-upscaling ka. So katulad nitong webinar na to, you are attending this webinar. Tapos, through seminars pa, nag-a-attend ka, and kung ano yung mga certifications na gusto mong i-take, kasi you're upskilling yourself. Dito, sa stage na to, nag-explore ka ng mga bagay na interesado ka. So, ano nga ba yung ma-experience mo or na-experience during stage 2? Self-initiated siya. Siguro, in my experience, ganun din ako. Self-initiated na nag-take ako ng yellow belt, self-initiated na nag-take ako ng internal quality auditor, and self-initiated na rin kung pipiliin nyo na mag-review agad per boards or ano yung mga skills na gusto nyong i-develop. Like, for example, may mga hindi pa kayo alam na formula sa Excel or gusto nyong matuto ng paggamit ng mga different systems like SAP. So, nagsa-self-initiate kayo na maghanap ng mga webinars na available para matuto kayo. Next is interest or focus. So dito, yung binabanggit ko kanina na kayo yung pumipili ng kung ano man yung gusto nyong pagfokusan. Sa school kasi, sobrang defined na, ito-take ko tong subject na to next sem, ito yung kailangan kong matutunan. Pero dito, sa stage 2, ikaw yung pipili kung ano yung gusto mong path. For example, gusto mong matuto ng coding, gusto mong matutunan na mas maging magaling sa paggagawa ng mga PowerPoint. So there are various webinars or trainings that are available out there. And syempre, yung mga course materials. Meaning, marami tayong pwedeng maging resources para sa paghahanap ng mga info na interested tayo. For example, YouTube. Kasi naalala ko nung college, 'di ba, nanonood tayo ng mga videos kapag hindi natin naiintindihan yung mga topic, and ito-try naman nating magsagot after. So, ganun din sa course materials, pero in a way, ang course materials ay defined na. For example, nag-access ka sa mga books dahil gusto mong matuto about leadership. So, katulad ng ginawa ni Sir Jojo na may nabasa siyang book about leadership and it is considered as a course material. Next, ano nga ba yung goals mo during stage 2? So, una, para malaman mo kung ano yung mga topics or skills and para ma-engrave siya sa utak mo. But your long-term goal is to apply it. Kasi aanhin mo nga naman yung natutunan mo kung hindi mo naman siya i-apply. Next would be the skills developed or yung learnings mo during stage 2. Una, initiative. Bakit? Kasi during stage 2, since self-initiated na siya, nasa sayo na eh. Nasa sayo na kung ano yung mga gusto mong i-try. Nasa sayo na kung ano yung mga topics na gusto mong i-explore pa. Lalo na kapag nandito tayo sa field ng engineering, ang daming pwedeng puntahan. Pwedeng nasa technical side ka, supply chain, logistics, continuous improvement, and even data analytics. So, nasa sayo na kung ano yung mga gusto mong i-explore. Next is self-goal oriented. So, kanina, yung mga goals mo, makapasa ka, na mag-work yung team mo para magkaroon ng output. Ngayon, self-goal oriented ka. Kasi, kunwari, may mga goal ka na magkaroon ng certification na ganito, magkaroon ka ng skills katulad nito. So, dito sa self-goal oriented, nagkakaroon ka ng identification for yourself kung ano yung skills na gusto mong i-develop. So, katulad ko nung after ko gumraduate, gusto ko sana na maging yellow belt certified. So, I took that. Kasi, I would like to take on the path of continuous improvement. So, isa yon sa mga nakatulong sa or more dun sa topic na yon and ma-apply ko yung skills ko. Next is resourcefulness. So, syempre, ngayong pandemic, nung una, di ba, nung face-to-face pa, mag-iisip tayo, anong mga seminars yung attendan ko? Kailangan pang pumunta dito sa venue na to. Pero ngayon, pagiging resourceful mo, ang dami na nating pwedeng sources. LinkedIn, YouTube, we even have learning management systems like yung sa iFlex, meron din ang edX, meron din ang MITx. So, dito, makikita mo na ang dami palang sources na pwede kang matutunan. So, naalala ko noon nag-try ako na mag-edX. So, marami akong na-discover na courses na available and meron ding mga parang exams or activities that will test kung natutunan mo talaga siya. And self-paced pa siya. So, I think it is a good opportunity rin para sa mga nasa stage 2 na mag-explore pa sa mga topics na interested sila. And lastly is self-discovery. So, dito sa stage na to, ay ma-realize mo ano ba talaga yung gusto ko. Sometimes kasi attend ng webinar pero maiisip mo ano ba talagang gusto kong path? Nakakalito. So, ito, sa self-discovery, malalaman mo kung ano ba talaga yung interested ka, ano yung na-develop mo talaga na yung skills mo. So, sa self-discovery, makikita mo ang sarili mo na ginagawa and working on that field. Next, for the stage 3 is the pupa or NIM. So, ito na yung job hunting. So, kanina, nakagraduate ka na, nag-upskill ka na, para, syempre, pag nagkakaroon ka na ng job hunting, meron kang mga skills na nasa qualifications ng dream job mo. So, sa job hunting, sobrang nag-iba na yung platform natin ngayon, lalo na nasa new normal. Nakikita natin na sobrang nag-rise yung LinkedIn and may mga iba pang mga job sites like JobStreets or may mga nag-host pa ng virtual career fairs. So, nakakatulong yun for job hunting. And we even have our Facebook group na pwedeng mag-post kung ano yung mga hiring sa companies nila. And our team helps them to connect with them. So, meron tayong group na Pinoy IEs kung saan pwede kayong mag-post ng mga hiring and the students can see it. Next is their experiences naman during stage 3 or job hunting. Una, submitting applications. Minsan, maisip mo, dami ko nang in-applyan, wala pa rin talaga. Or, mag-i-email ba ako? Paano kaya ako mag-i-email? Tapos, makikita mo na ang daming pwedeng pag-submitan, pero ano ba yung makikita nung HR? Di ba, mapapaisip ka na gano'n. Kaya, minsan nagtatanong-tanong ka rin sa mga friends mo, sa mga mentors mo, or sa mga dati mong prof, kung may alam sila na available openings. Kaya, that's where we go to the connecting with industry people. Why? Hindi lang naman connecting as in pa-favor naman. Pwede pong bang mag-apply sa inyo? Hindi naman siya, kumbaga, in a way na negative because it helps you connect and learn with them. May connotation kasi tayo na kapag nakapag-connect, pag nakapasok ko na sa company, wala na. But connecting would mean na nag-exchange kayo ng ideas on your chosen field, on your skills, and in a way, ang pakikipag-connect naman ay hindi lang one way na pag may favor ka na hiningi, hindi ko na magpapakita sa kanya. No. During stage 3, you'll realize na ang dami mong ways para makatulong sa iba. So for example, nakapag-connect kayo sa LinkedIn. However, hindi mo walang nasa qualifications mo yung mga job openings nila. But you can still help them find kahit simply sharing lang yung mga post nila para maka-help din sa kanila. Another thing would be to discuss with the industry people, lalo na dun sa chosen path na pinili mo. So for example, you have chosen continuous improvement. So who will be the people that you want to talk about it? And kung may mga may recommend ba sila ng books or course materials na pwede. And through connecting with them, natututunan nila yung kung ano man ang meron ka or kung ano man yung mga skills mo, experiences mo, and ganun din naman sa kanila. Next is interviews. So, syempre, yan yung mga na-experience natin. Naka-laptop because common is naka-work from home na ang ibang employees. So, through interviews, nade-develop mo yung mga kung paano sumagot sa interview, kung paano mo na-express yung mga thoughts mo. Syempre, minsan kakabahan ka kung, baka mag-lag ako or baka kung anong itanong na hindi ko alam. So, dito makikita mo or nag-gauge mo rin kung paano mo rin pinipresent, hindi lang yung sarili mo, hindi lang yung thoughts mo, kundi yung mga thoughts mo na critical sa pag-answer ng mga questions. And another thing is you learn more about the company culture. So through interviews, hindi lang naman ikaw yung kinikilala ng mga nag-i-interview sa'yo. So then, kinikilala mo rin yung company. Kaya it's a really good thing for you to ask questions about the company. So it is a two-way para malaman mo kung match ba kayo. So for example, nalaman mo na, 6 days a week pala yung work. Ganyan. Pero, you know to yourself na hindi mo kayang mag-commit sa 6 days a week. So, at least nalaman mo during your interview na hindi pala kayo match. And it will help you din na ma-identify kung ano man yung mga company culture na values na hinahanap mo sa isang company. There are some questions na minsan nakikita niyo sa LinkedIn kung ano yung mga common questions ng isang HR. Pero may mga hanap din kayo na kung ano yung mga pwede niyong itanong sa HR para mas ma-discover niyo kung ano man ang company culture nila. What is your goal during stage 3? Una, yung short-term goal mo, kapag nag-submit ka, syempre hoping na matawagan ka, ma-email ka for a scheduled interview. And next, ang long-term goal mo naman, syempre, is to receive a job offer. So, syempre, sa una, tuwang-tuwa ka sa call na, may interview ko. Kaya may text na, are you available right now? Kaya, are you available for a call on a certain date? So dito, syempre, matutuwa ka nakakabahan during your interview or marilearn mo siya. And then, yung long-term goal mo naman is to receive, syempre, a job offer. At doon ka na talaga matutuwa kung meron na. Diba? So dito, sa job offer, siguro minsan masyado tayong matutuwa agad kapag meron na tayong job offer. Pero it is really important na wag mag-decision agad kapag extreme kung ano man yung mga emotions mo. Why? Kasi baka ma-overlook mo na meron sa job offer na hindi pala match sa mga gusto mo. For example, yun yung nabanggit ko kanina na ang magiging pasok niya is 6 days a week. Ayan. So, isa doon ay kailangan mo mag-decide or kailangan mo rin na i-gauge kung kailangan mo makipag-negotiate sa laman ng job offer. And now, what are the skills developed or your learnings during stage 3? Una is strategy. Why? Kasi sa strategy, makikita mo kung alin yung mga companies na gusto mong applyan. Ano yung mga jobs na gusto mong makamit. So, for example, nagta-target market ka, kumbaga, ng companies na gusto mong applyan. May specific industries din na gusto mong i-explore. Kaya, through strategy, nagkakaroon ka ng gauge kung saan mo talaga gusto na mag-apply. And dito, makikita mo na through a strategy, mababawasan yung pag-submit mo ng applications para hindi rin tiring for you. Lalo na kapag may mga companies na mag-a-apply ka, nag-upload ka na ng resume, and then ito-type mo ulit. So, sobrang time-consuming niya. Siguro, sobrang relate yung mga job hunters before or job hunters right now. Kaya, strategy will help you to optimize din your time in applying. So, you can gauge din kung saan ba mas effective. Is it through submitting applications na mag-submit lang basta? Or it is through connections, specifically for what I've mentioned a while ago during your connections within this industry. Next would be self-expression. So ito yung nabanggit ko kanina during interviews na natututunan mong express ang sarili mo and ang thoughts mo. Lalo na kapag hindi mo inaasahan yung mga questions, will it be something about your soft skills or something just general about you or something critical? Minsan hindi ka prepared, may case study pala. So dito, makikita mo rin and malalaman mo sa sarili mo kung paano mo siya i-express. And honestly, based dun sa experience ko before, nakailang interviews ako bago makahanap ng trabaho. And I think yun talaga yung nakatulong sa akin na maland yung job ko ngayon through those different interviews. Kasi, kumbaga, nahasa yung self-expression skills ko yung mga past interviews. Next would be professional communication. So dito, madedevelop mo na kung ano ba yung tamang pag-i-email. Ano ba yung words na gagamitin mo, na natutunan mo ng mag-best regards. So, through professional communication, nakikita ng mga companies na eager ka and meron kang professional etiquette kahit fresh graduate ka pa lang. And lastly, self-awareness. So dito, makikita mo na bakit parang wala pa akong job. Minsan, madadown ka na bakit may job na yung iba, ako wala pa, or na-promote na yung iba, ako wala pa rin hanggang ngayon. Tapos, dun mo ma-realize na Kaya pala, kasi darating din kung ano yung job na para sa'yo. And magiging aware ka kung ano ba yung mga strengths mo, ano ba yung mga weaknesses mo through those interviews. And lastly, yung pagiging adult sa stage 4. So ito na yung pagiging employee mo, na-receive mo na and in-accept mo na yung job offer. So paano nga ba maging employee? And yung experiences nyo during stage 4, una, napakadaming alignment or meetings. Ayan. So, paano nasabi na ganito? Lalo na ngayong work from home. So, sometimes merong mga problems na nag-arise na kailangan talaga ng mga meetings, lalo na kung cross-functional departments, and kung may mga urgent na mga kailangan gawin. Lalo na ngayon, malapit na ang peak season. So, if anyone knows peak season, ito yung season ng bare months kung saan tumataas ang demand natin sa goods and sa services. Next is various tools na Excel and PPT. Actually, meron akong friend na nag-send ng meme before na parang nakalagay is nagpakahirap ka sa kung ano-anong computation mo ng college. Tapos ngayon ang ginagawa mo sa work, nag-Excel at PPT. So, actually, it's funny, but it's really the truth. Kasi, yun talaga yung nangyayari sa mga experiences mo ngayon, but the catch is that hindi mo magagawa yung pag-Excel na yun kung hindi mo na-develop yung analytical thinking skills mo na na-develop mo during those problem sets or nung nag-research na kayo for your research paper. So dito, kapag nag-Excel ka, hindi naman basta may formula na agad yung data mo eh. So, yung mga natutunan mo before na kung saan siya dapat na i-divide or i-multiply, yung mga dapat i-optimize, yun, yung mga mapapag-applyan nitong mga various tools. And lastly, during stage 4, meron na kayong mga processes, meron ng mga tasks. Processes can mean na processes na pina-perform ng other people or tasks that you perform on yourself. So, halimbawa, you have a specific na task na mag-submit ng mga reports and for the processes na kailangan mo mag-update ng status ng mga various na codes or some processes or tasks involve technical side. You would have to conduct audit. So, sa process or tasks, identified kung ano yung mga gagawin mo. And dito matitest kung natitest ba kung tama ba yung nagagawa mo or tama ba yung pagkaka-perform ng mga processes na nais mong i-improve. And what are your goals during stage 4? So, syempre, short-term goal mo, perform tasks correctly. Kasi, syempre, medyo pabibo na tayo eh. Kasi bago pa lang tayo sa company, kailangan we stand out from the rest, right? So, we make sure that what we do can impress our bosses. But, more than that, kapag nagawa mo siya ng tama, hindi mo na siya kailangang ulitin. So, it is the most efficient way to do that. So, to perform tasks correctly would mean to align before you perform those tasks para hindi ka na magkamali kapag ginagawa mo na talaga siya. And your long-term goal is to reach KPIs or OKRs na na-target nyo. So, what are KPIs? So, KPIs, key performance indices, and OKRs are operational key results. So, yung mga KPI natin, ito yung mga metrics natin. It can be productivity, it can be accuracy, it can be lead time. So, for example, you performed your task correctly, but did you reach a target KPI of performing it within the lead time? And you may also have the operational key results. So OKRs are more on the reviews every quarter ng isang company. And syempre, as part of the company, you have a common goal. So through these OKRs, yung kada department, merong mga naset na target KPIs for each metric na napaka-important for that department. So for example, the KPI ng isang customer service team would be to accomplish 100 tickets per day. So your KPI would be 100. Meanwhile, for your OKR, you can also have to increase the number of tickets closed per day by 20. So from 100, you go to 120 for the next quarter. And here, what are the skills developed or the learnings during stage 4? So una, marirealize mo na lifelong learning talaga siya. Hala mo, tapos ka na matuto nung pagka-graduate mo, nung nakapag-upskill ka na. No. Dito, kapag nasa company ka na, marirealize mo na marami ka palang matututunan. Hindi lang yung tipong technical side, kundi may mga soft skills din tayo na made-develop. So for example, actually kanina lang, meron akong meeting with a cross-functional team and in-explore namin yung process ng finance. So dito, matututunan ko yung process ng finance kahit engineer ako. Meanwhile, sila, matututunan nila yung mga tools ng improvement. So, dito sa lifelong learning, hindi lang ikaw yung makikinabang, pati rin yung mga taong nasa paligid mo na napag-sharean mo ng mga natutunan mo nung college or nung nag-upskill ka. Next is project management. So, nabanggit ko kanina na merong mga OKRs na dapat na na-reach. So, dito sa project management, through those OKRs, nakikita natin kung ano ba yung mga projects na kailangan natin gawin. So, for example, nung katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, 100 tickets per day, and your target is to increase it by 20, so it will become 120 for the next quarter. So, what are the projects that you would want para ma-achieve ito? So, do you apply DMAIC? Do you apply DMADV? Or there is just a project management tool overall na may naiisip na kayo na solution for this one. But the catch is that kapag meron tayong mga project management and DMAIC, we prepare, of course, the business case. So the importance of business case is to present to your stakeholders na may importansya yung project mo. Why? Kasi dito sa business case, makikita natin yung percent na ma-increase niya and yung cost na ma-reduce niya or yung percent ng increase niya sa magiging sales or profit ng isang company. So, syempre, meron tayo mga proposal na ay i-improve po natin yung tech side na ganito, lalo na kapag tech development. So, syempre, magastos siya. We need to build a business case para mapatunayan natin na worth it ba yung improvement na pinopropose natin. Next is the goal setting. So for the goal setting, ma-identify mo dito na hindi lang para sa sarili mo, hindi lang para sa team mo, hindi lang para sa department nyo, kundi sa buong company din. So dito, marami kang goals na pwedeng i-achieve at i-relate sa kada task na ginagawa mo. So for example, goal nyo na highest net monetary value for the year for this peak sales days. So syempre, buong company, they're all working on that. On your side, ano yung gagawin ng department nyo? Ano gagawin ng team nyo? Ano gagawin mo? So contribute para ma-reach yun. And lastly, improvement-wise. Kasi as a fresh eyes sa company, mas madali mong makikita yung mga wastes na nasa mga processes. Minsan mapapatanong ka, ay bakit po ito ganito? Bakit po ito ganito? Dahil bago ka and makikita mo na ito pala yung process and kung ano yung mga gusto mong i-improve para mapadali yung mga processes na either pinaperform mo or pinaperform ng other teams. So, what now? What am I supposed to do with this information? Right? Siguro yun yung mga tanong nyo. To conclude, first is after every stage, you learn new things and develop new skills. So, hindi naman talagang concrete na kung ano man yung natutunan mo nung student ka, nung nag-upskill ka, nung nag-job hunt ka, or nung employee ka, it's just the same skills or learnings that you develop. Basta, ma-realize mo na kada stage, meron kang matututunan. Meron kang ma-develop na new skills. Kasi dito, makikita mo na wala namang taong perfect. Pero, palaging merong room for improvement. And next is after every stage, you're discovering more and more about yourself. Why? Katulad ng pagiging student mo, tapos nagulat ka, galing mo pala sa interview, pero introvert ka na student ka. So, it is one na nadidiscover mo sa sarili mo. Siguro on my side, ang na-discover ko about myself nung employee na ako is that marunong pala akong gumamit ng Google Calendar. Marunong pala ako gumamit ng mga project management tools na hindi mo naman akalain na matututunan mo pala. Kaya, kaya ko palang makipag-usap kahit sa mga employees na mas matanda sa akin. Kaya, kaya ko palang mag-present sa company ng mga projects ko. So, doon mo ma-realize na kaya mo pala. The next is, after every stage, you will face inevitable challenges. So, nakita natin na ang daming mga goals, ang daming mga short-term and long-term goals kada stage. And to achieve these goals, palagi tayong merong mga challenges. The important thing is that what we do about it and how we discover ourselves on how to deal with it. Then lastly, after every stage, you have a bright future ahead of you. So you will realize na, yes, nakagraduate na ako. And then, yes, nakapasa na ako ng boards. So, yes, nakapag-interview na ako, may job na ako. So dito, ma-realize mo na kahit anong hirap ng stage na yon, marireach mo pa rin yung goal mo at hindi tayo pare-parehas ng mga timeline. Kaya, keep your head up, engineer. So, that's all for my presentation. Connect with me through LinkedIn, or you can send me an email through my email address at cmgutierrez@askxph.com. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for that wonderful talk, Engineer Gutierrez. And now, for my insight, as a student, nandun talaga ako sa stage ng egg pa lang. Kagaya ngayon, ang daming natin ginagawa, like nagsasabay-sabay orgs and ACADS. Well, so doon mo talaga maiintindihan yung importance ng time management.
Nakarelate din ako sa mga unang sinabi ni Ate Zea about sa pagiging student. Siyempre, ngayon, student tayo. Then, parang siguro, ini-imagine ko na rin yung mga mangyayari sa atin in the future kasi siyempre, pandemic na rin. Katulad nung theme ni Ate Zea, Metamorphosis.
Yes.
Ano sabihin ng Metamorphosis?
Evolution ng ano.
Nakaulit yun.
Butterfly.
Pero yun, kasi tayo sa ating question and answer.
Yes, sa ating mga participants, you may now put your question on our chat box.
Ang bilis. Anong oras ba?
Okay, for our first question, good day po. Gaano po ka-stressful yung paghahanap ng job and paano po ninyo iyon ini-handle?
Oh, nice question.
Yes. So actually, nakaka-stress siya, pero in a way na nade-develop mo on yourself kung paano mo siya i-manage. So, for example, marami kang in-applyan, tapos bigla kang natawagan. So doon na nalilift up ka na, Kasi you still have hope na someone will take a chance on you. Kasi there are a lot of things na syempre panghihinaan tayo ng loob. Actually, it's not really more on stress. Siguro, it's more on yung minsan akalain mo na baba ng self-worth mo. But through the interviews or through the upskilling na nakikita mo yung self-worth mo na, ay, oo nga, kapag nandun ka na, kapag meron ka ng job offer, kapag meron ka ng job, dun mo ma-realize na, ay, kaya pala nangyari yon, kaya pala hindi ako nakapasok sa kumpanyang yon, kasi para dito ako. And siguro dun sa stress part, and paano ko na-handle yon is more on, sige, apply ako, I'll try, I'll do my best, and then just apply sa mga gusto kong companies na interested ako. And syempre, you will have to check din, ano ba ang kanilang requirements, and paano mo ba mapapakita ng presentable yung sarili mo, hindi lang dun sa interviews, kundi sa resume na meron ka. So you will make sure na match yung qualifications or yung mga requirements sila dun sa mga nilalagay mo sa resume. So, through that, nakikita ko na, ay, parang nga ako dito. Tingin ko, kaya ko to. Tingin ko, madedevelop pa yung skills ko dito and makakontribute ako sa organization. So, yun yung mga naging goals ko and yung mga naging hopes ko nung nag-a-apply ako.
Okay, if may questions pa po kayo guys, proceed lang sa chat box and try natin i-ask kay Ate Zea. Huwag po kayo mahiya magtanong. Kung may right med.
Mukhang wala pa silang question sa kasalukuyan. Pero mamaya kung may maisip pa kayong question, pwede nyo naman ilagay ulit sa chat box para ang facilitator na lang natin ang magsasend kay Engineer Gutierrez po.
Well, thank you very much, Engineer Gutierrez, Ate Z.
Yes,
ang hirap
Ate
sabihin.
Ate Z na lang.
Bago.
Ate Z na lang, hindi nagkakalayo ang ating mga edad.
Opo.
Thank you, Ate Z. Thank you, Ate Z. Okay, Shane. I think ready na sila sa ating last na speaker. Sige tayo. Ano na nangyari? Nablanko ako. Sorry.
Medyo natigilan si Rahim.
Gawa na bilang sinawala yung camera natin. Tapos tayo natin ako sa atin. Okay, with that, we are now down to our last speaker for today. I just want to remind everyone again that if you have questions for the speaker, kahit kay Engineer Veroya, kay Engineer Palisok, or kay Engineer Gutierrez, pwede niyo po siyang i-chat sa ating chat box. Then yung mga facilitators na po namin ang bahala mag-forward sa kanila.
Okay. To give us an information about self-care in a work-from-home setup, let us have the most knowledgeable person in this area. Allow me to do the honor of presenting our last speaker for this night. A 26-year-old traveler, dog mom, and mental health advocate. Over 5 years of experience in digital strategy, O2N events, e-commerce, management, paid ad optimization, and organic community growth, hopes to tell stories through engaging digital content, aims to convey brand messaging through every online execution, digital marketing lead at Filta Global, digital marketing specialist for AskLex PH, social media specialist for Amazon, US, and Europe brands, digital marketing manager for Automart.ph, founder and CEO of K Digital Services, certified project manager of Google Digital Garage, inbound marketing certified, outbound marketing certified, Harvard Project for Asian and International Relation alumna.
Well, without further ado, let us all welcome and give a round of applause to Miss Kessel Macapagal. Clap emojis, guys. Welcome, Miss
Good evening po.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening po.
Let me just share my screen. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope buhay pa kayo. I hope gising pa tayo lahat. And I'll make this discussion very quick. So before I jump right into it, papakilala muna ako. I'm Kes. So bakit ito yung nilagay ko sa bio ko? Bakit 26-year-old traveler, ganyan? Because my topic will be self-care in a work-from-home setup. So gusto ko lang ipakita sa inyo na kahit parang ang dami-dami kong ginagawa, and I belong to a lot of organizations like AskLex, of course, kaya pa rin. Kaya na magkaroon ng work-life balance, kaya na mag-travel or, take care of my dogs, even though ang dami kong ginagawa. And in this presentation, I'll tell you how to practically apply self-care. Ano nga ba sa self-care sa work from home setup? So ngayon, ang speakers natin from the previous talks nagturo kung paano mag-upskill, and then leadership, then of course, transitioning from being a student to being a professional. So, i-conclude ko lang tong webinar na to in paano nga ba maaalagaan yung sarili mo or paano ka magkakaroon ng professional and personal boundaries sa work from home setup. So, alam natin na laging sinasabi ng mga tao, nagrereklamo sila na I work from home ako, yung Viber messages or yung emails hindi natatapos ng 8 p.m. kahit 12 midnight nag-email yung mga tao. So, paano mo ito na ma-manage and paano mo ma-manage yung sobrang dami ng deadlines na ginagawa? So first, of course, let's start with what self-care is. So self-care for me starts with time management, setting professional boundaries, and of course, finding your inspirations. In terms of time management, let's start with work prioritization and establishing habits and routines. So work prioritization naman, madali lang to. You have to ask the question, ano ba yung pinaka-urgent? O ano ba yung pinaka-malapit na deadline? And then, aling task ko or aling project ko yung pinaka-matagal gawin? And then, which task requires a next step? Ibig sabihin nito, aling task ko ba yung kailangan ko pang ipasa sa ibang tao pagkatapos kong gawin? Kasi may kailangan pa siyang tapusin. So, dito, uunahin mo syempre is most urgent. Then punta ka sa which task requires a next step. Kasi ayaw naman natin na maipit yung workmate natin, yung classmate natin, or teammate natin. And then sa last part, which task takes the longest to do, yun yung pangatlo mong gagawin. Kasi pag hinuli mo siya, it takes longer, therefore baka ma-delay yung other projects nyo. And pwede kayong gumamit dito ng Google Calendar or project management software. We have Trello, Asana, Monday.com, and ClickUp. Or pwede na actually, what I really do right now, kahit may calendar ako, is gumagamit ako ng scheduling, traditional scheduling, which is a notebook. Gumagawa ako ng checklist, kinakategorize ko siya into different, anong project to, anong company to, or alin ba yung pinaka-urgent ko. So with that, nakakatulong din sa akin yung paggawa nun kasi alam ko kung ano yung unahin ko, hindi ako natataranta. At hindi ko siya napapag-mix up. And then, of course, for prioritization naman, tulad ng sinabi ko, meron akong checklist, pero pwede ka rin magkaroon ng Gantt chart. Ang Gantt chart naman is it shows you gaano kahaba yung project, alin yung deadline ng project na to, and sino-sinong tao yung involved doon sa project na yun. Now, this is a bit syempre tedious siya gawin, matagal siya gawin, kumbaga, but Gantt charts really help you manage a project, especially if you have a big team. So for me, I manage a team of sometimes 20 people. So online, that helps us track everything and helps us keep track of all the sabay-sabay na projects that we have. And then for sticky notes and laptop stickies, it's just letting you know na meron akong project na ganito at this time. So meron ka lang constant reminder na I have to do this or I have to finish it at this certain deadline. And then as I mentioned, project management softwares like Asana, Monday.com. Although, yung mga bagay na yon, yung softwares, they're not usually free. And kailangan mo talagang mag-allot ng budget for that. Okay, this is actually something that I'm already doing kasi when I started working in the office years back, alam ko na 9 to 5 yung trabaho ko. Pero ngayon, sabay-sabay work from home and then I have my own business and then I have other clients that I manage. So ang ginagawa ko is I set a semi-flexible schedule. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng semi-flexible schedule? Ano yung non-negotiables ko na dapat kong gawin daily? So for me, I have urgent morning checks and meetings with my team. Katulad ng sinabi ni Sir Jojo, kailangan talaga, of course, you check up on your teammates, your subordinates, kailangan kakamustahin mo sila, and building a relationship and rapport. And then, dumating na ako sa point na I actually schedule breaks. Every time mahaba yung project, every time napapagod ako, I make sure to schedule breaks. Bakit? Kasi hindi ko magagawa ng excellently yung project ko if I don't take a pause, if I don't refresh my mind or energize. And then, how are my long breaks? So for long breaks, mag-set ka lang ng 1 hour. Kung magla-lunch ka ng work from home ng 1 hour, set it. Tapos huwag kang magtatrabaho. Set that time kung gusto mong mag-Netflix, kung gusto mong just read anything, or kumain lang. Take that time to really be with yourself. And then, of course, pre-log off rounds. Kung may time tracking kayo, ano ba yung kailangan kong gawin before ako mag-log out? So for example, mag-check ba ako ng posts for the day? Mag-aaral ba ako? Or kailangan ko ba kausapin yung boss ko, yung teacher ko, o yung classmate ko? And then, sorry. Okay. So setting professional boundaries. Kaya ang title ng aking presentation is Blurred Lines. Kasi hindi ko na alam kung kailan ba yung work from home ako, nagtatrabaho ako, and yung time ko na nagpapahinga. So that's why we have to set professional boundaries. Paano to? Number 1 is, of course, discipline. Nagsisimula to sa'yo. Discipline in terms of not really about the work, it's about you. So paano siya ginagawa? Number 1, pwede mong iset to sa sarili mo. No notifications on weekends without prior notice of need. Number 2, no emails after 8 p.m. It's not just unhealthy, it's rude. So pwede mo siyang practice for yourself, and then may emulate mo siya actually sa teammates mo. And then number 3, no task is more important than your mental health. So this is what I actually want to point out. So I'm a big mental health advocate, and short kwento, I have diagnosed severe anxiety. So, ang dami-dami kong ginagawa na ayoko ng pangit, ayoko ng hindi sobrang perfect kasi nga I have anxiety. So, anong ginagawa ko para minsan nag-overcompensate ako, minsan nag-overwork ako ng sarili ko kasi kailangan perfecto, kailangan walang mali, kailangan sobrang mawawaw yung mga taong nakakita. So, that's what I actually do. Important na it's still a learning process na walang project, walang deadline, walang trabaho na mas importante kaysa sa mental health. And then, of course, paano mo ini-incentivize yung sarili mo? Discipline na to in terms of magbe-break ako ngayon, magte-take ako ng 5-minute break ngayong araw or ngayong oras na to pag natapos ko yung trabaho ko. Or I'll allow myself to buy, medyo budol to, I'll allow myself to buy or something or submit before a deadline. So, for example, gusto ko ng bagong ring light or gusto ko ng bagong tumbler. I-allow ko lang yung sarili ko na bilhin yun kung natapos ko na yung certain project na to. Bakit? Kasi mas na-encourage ako, mas na-motivate ko yung sarili ko na mag-work hard, tapusin yung project kapag alam ko na I'm looking forward to something or kapag for me, I have something to do. I have a reward after finishing this certain task. And then, of course, dito tayo sa how to say no politely. Kanina sinabi ko na no emails or no notifications after 8 p.m. and during weekends. And syempre, hindi naman pwedeng, hindi ka lang basta mag-respond. Baka matanggal ka naman sa trabaho. So how do you say it? How do you say it to your workmates, to your colleagues, or even to your boss? So just number 1 is just no. People should take no as a 1-sentence full-on answer. So I understand that sometimes it doesn't work, pero like for me, sinet ko agad yung expectations ng teammates ko, ng boss ko, and then ng subordinates ko na, guys, when I say no, it's not because I don't want to, it's because I'm trying to balance things. Or it's not because hindi maganda or hindi nag-work, but it's because to give you time also to be with your families or loved ones or to just rest. Other ways to do it is thanks, but that's not my thing. Or number three, I'm not really feeling up to it, but thank you for the invite. And then number four, is better kasi for number four, pag tinatanong ka, are you okay? Ano pinagdadaanan mo? Or fino-force ka ng people, colleagues, or your network to share what's going on with you. You can say, I appreciate your concern, but I don't feel like sharing the issue with you, or I don't feel like sharing at this moment. And then number five, I'm not available to do the task you asked. Sometimes they ask for explanation, pwede kayong magbigay, or pwede kayong mag-decline. Your employers or your workmates don't hold your time and, yung personality nyo. So, pag hindi kayo available or pag hindi nyo kaya, feel free to voice it out and say it. And then, your actions or words are making me uncomfortable. If you could avoid it in the future, I would appreciate it. So, paano yan? Pag meron silang sinasabing akala nila joke or akala nila funny, but if it offends you or if you don't like it, more on, usually kasi in my case, it applies to women. So I say, it's making me uncomfortable. Please don't do that again. Or you're offending me and I'm sure you're offending other people. So if you could just avoid it, that will be the best for the team. And then the last one is, of course, no thank you. So these things, itong lines na to, of course, pwede nyo pa siyang i-tweak, pwede nyo pa siyang i-improve, but these are very, very helpful guides pag may kailangan kayong gawin. And number one, wala kayong time. Number two, hindi talaga kaya. And then number three, setting professional boundaries. Na hanggang dito lang yung work. At around and any other time, I'm with my family. So please don't disturb me. And then, my favorite part is finding your inspirations. Pag naka-work from home ka, sobrang minsan it's draining. Actually, may studies na nagpo-prove na mas draining ang work from home kesa sa office. Bakit? Kasi mag-isa ka lang, nakakulong ka sa kwarto mo maghapon or sa office mo. Number three, ang dami-daming trabaho, ang daming deadlines, and madalas sabay-sabay sila. And as I mentioned before, hindi nga nababalanse yung working hours versus your rest hours. So, meron akong investing first in your work from home setup. So, meron akong ways to do that. Number one is investing via milestones. Again, we mentioned ko to before, ginagawa ko siyang reward for myself. Or actually, I taught my teammates this, na pag may na-reach ko yung goal, buy yourself something. Can't be super expensive, hindi naman kailangan mahal, especially if you're trying to save or estudyante ka pa lang. So, pwede kayong bumili. Minsan, chocolate lang, yung chocolate bar, yung honey, things like that. Things that actually will help you be motivated lang, pero alam mo na, yes, may nakuha ko kasi natapos ko tong trabaho na to. And then, the don't is just never stress buy. Kasi some people, pag stress sila, ang daming deadline, nagsistress eat or nagsistress buy. But for stress buying, you shouldn't even do it kasi bibili ka lang na kung anong makita mo, and you usually will end up with a bunch of things that you don't like or you don't even need or don't know what the use is for. And then, okay, start with a mood board. I always have a mood board with me kasi very important to para number one, inspired ka. Pwede ka rin magkaroon ng mood board sa either pangarap mong bahay or sa gusto mong set up ng room mo. So mood boards would include for clothes, for example, anong damit yung gusto ko, anong colors yung preference ko. And then for my dogs, for example, I just have photos of them there. And then anong favorite objects nyo. Actually, itong mood board, pwede rin siyang journal, pwede rin siyang dream wall, and things like that. As I mentioned before, if you want to focus on your goal, for example, ang laki-laki yung kailangan ng savings because you wanna buy something, make a dream wall. So, ang gagawin mo is you can print out, for example, gusto mo na iPhone 13 since kaka-announce lang sa kanya. Ipi-print out mo yung iPhone 13 and then nakalagay lang sa wall mo. That way, pag gusto mong mag-spend, mag-Lazada or Shopee, nandun agad siya na, ay, hindi pala ako pwedeng bumili kasi pinag-iipunan ko tong bagay. If you're planning to travel, actually very effective to sa akin since I travel a lot. pag may gusto akong puntahan na lugar, sinusulat ko siya sa sticky note na road to, for example, road to Canada. So, papaste ko lang siya doon, tapos yung ipon ko, yung allowance ko, the tickets and everything, lagi ko siyang makikita. So, I won't spend as much on other things kasi alam ko na may goal ako to do for myself. And then manifest your goals. Lagi natin sinasabi sa comments ngayon sa Facebook, manifest, manifest. Ano nga yung manifest? It's believing na kaya mo. And you work so hard, lagi ko nababasa to eh. You work so hard for something. You pray so hard for something and you believe so hard in something that the universe has no choice but to give it to you. So, yun. Always manifest na ma-reach mo yung personal and professional goals mo. Work hard. Gawin mo lahat to reach that. And pray for it. If you believe in, the higher power, pray for it. And I'm sure in the right time and in the right moment, it will happen. And then, that's it for me. If you have questions about mental health, digital marketing, getting started in the industry and paid ads or social media, let's connect. I have my LinkedIn, Instagram, and my certificates in that QR code. So if you're interested, let's talk offline. Thank you.
Touching.
So thank you for that. Super informative, Miss Kes. For my insight, na-realize ko yung importance talaga ng self-care kasi we won't be able to do our task. Kumbaga, ibigay yung best natin sa mga task kung hindi ayos yung ating self-care, no?
Then sobrang relevant din ng mga diniscuss niya kahit sobrang bilis lang kasi pandemic ngayon, syempre mag-isa tayo. Sobrang hirap kaya mag-aral, no?
Oo,
nang mag-isa.
nakaka-drain sobra na nasa bahay ka lang. Tapos after mo mag-aral, maglilinis ka naman, uutusan ka kung saan. Yun yung nakaka-drain na part.
Tapos may isa pang experience na yun nga. Nalako yun nga. Share ko lang yung laptop ko nasira dahil sa pag-aaral. Hindi sa pag-aaral. Dun sa training namin ng isang araw. Sobrang hirap lamang. Well,
so yun, for our participants, you may na-ask your questions po.
Pero may questions na po agad habang nagdi-discuss si Ms. Kes. First question po is, how do you find the balance between saying no and being a team player?
That's actually a very good first question, no? Meron kasi different company cultures na sa ibang companies, especially sa traditional ones, pag nag-no ka, ma-offend sila. Or, ay, grabe naman tong empleyado to. Sila yung may right mag-no sa akin. So, pwede mong sabihin in a nice way na, for example, boss, pwede bang gawin ko to some other day because right now I'm focusing on this task. Or, ma'am, pwede ko ba tong i-pause for another day kasi may priority tayo eh. Or, I have to go finish something or meet my family. Real bosses or real leaders rather, not bosses. And empathetic management will understand. Medyo, actually, for me, coming from a lot of different backgrounds, pag hindi ganun yung boss mo or pag medyo red flag yan sa akin. Kasi meaning, hindi nila binavalue yung ikaw as a person, but only you and your skills as an employee. And that's something na you won't grow to love towards.
Thank you very much po, Ms. Kes. Next question.
For the next question, if I'm a new hire, how do I adjust with overtime culture in my office while prioritizing my mental health?
That's also good. Number one, pag new hire ka, merong onboarding. Lagi mong tatanungin sa HR, ano po ba yung company culture dito? Huwag kang mahiya na magtanong sa HR kasi HRs are usually the most, approachable sa company. So pag nasa work from home ka, and tatanungin mo, ano po ba yung company culture or how do you guys feel about overtime? Kasi they have to be honest with you na, of course, may overtime dito, but we inform you beforehand para ma-set mo yung time mo, kung may iba kang commitments, iba kang obligations, ma-reschedule mo. But in terms of adjust to the overtime culture while prioritizing your mental health, set time for yourself. Lagi kong sinasabi, take breaks. Kahit 5 minutes, kahit 1 minute lang. Yung hihinga ka lang na, okay, next project. Sobrang helpful nun. Number one, deep breaths really put in so much oxygen sa katawan mo. And oxygen actually triggers a chemical in your brain that not really makes you happy, but calms you down. And yun, number 2 is, pag pinag-overtime ka today, wag ka namang overtime for the whole week. It actually depends din, paano ka ba mag-manage ng time mo sa office. Because pag hindi ka maayos mag-manage ng time, that's also a key part kung bakit mo kailangan mag-overtime. Pag marami ka pang deliverables na hindi natapos.
Okay,
So-
unfortunately, wala na po tayong time. Pero if may question na po kayo, just put it on the chat box and isasend po ng ating facilitator yung pong mga question nyo po kay Miss Kes po.
Well, at this moment, we are now proceeding to the awarding of certificate of recognition for all the speakers natin earlier.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Miss Cass. Let's proceed. Wait lamang
Okay.
po. Medyo hindi po namin mabasa kasi malabo po mata namin.
Yan.
Yan.
Game on the journey in making history. This certificate of recognition is proudly given to Engineer Felix Veroya for sharing his experience and expertise in pre-conference celebration entitled Game Loading to the New Normal and Beyond, given this 23rd day of September 2021, signed by Engineer Joshua I.L. Palisok, CIE, AAE, SCMSA, CLSSGB, MSIE, MSDS.
Okay. Sir, okay, proceed para tayo. This certificate of recognition is proudly given to Engineer Joshua I.L. Palisok for sharing his experience and expertise in pre-conference celebration entitled Game Loading to the New Normal and Beyond, given his 23rd day of September 2021, signed by Engineer Felix C. Veroya, CIE, PIE, AAE, CKLF, MBB, CSM, CHBA.
The certificate of recognition is proudly given to Engineer Zea Mary Rose Gutierrez for sharing her experience and expertise in pre-conference celebration entitled Game Loading to the New Normal and Beyond, given this 23rd day of September 2021. Signed by Engineer Felix C. Veroya, CIE, PIE, AAE, CKLF, MBB, CSM, CHBA, DHUM, and the founder and CEO of AskLex PH.
Sim. Last but not least, this certificate of recognition is proudly given to Ms. Kessel Macapagal for sharing her experience and expertise in pre-conference celebration entitled Game Loading to the New Normal and Beyond, given this 23rd day of September 2021, signed by Engineer Felix C. Veroya, CIE, PIE, AAE, CKLF, MBB, CSM, CHBA, and founder and CEO of AskLex PH Academy. Thank you very much. Wait lang tayo, Shane. Okay. Ay, sana pala.
Okay, so unfortunately, dahil wala na tayong time, hindi na tayo makakapag-raffle, pero ipopost po ng AskLex po kung sino po, yung process po at saka po winners for tomorrow po.
Para syempre hindi madaya.
For
Pero sana
tomorrow.
may time pa pala ako para i-share.
Ako din, i-share ko pa.
Anyway.
Abot pa tayo. So, but before that, we would like to invite you to one of the country's innovative and gamified conference, Game On, The Journey in Making History. The conference is a 2-day event that will happen on October 23rd and 24th, 2021. If you have further question, you may chat AskLex PH Academy's Facebook page or email us at info@asklexph.com.
Okay, sadly yan, unfortunately na hindi na masasabi ngayon yung winner. Kaya siguro wag muna kayo mawalan ng pag-asa. I-share nyo pa yan na i-share.
Yes.
Baka may account pa kayo dyan sa bahay nyo, di ba? Share nyo rin. Malay mo mabunot yung kapatid mo.
So, this time, we would love to give everyone our warmest gratitude for making this event happen. It will always be our greatest pleasure and honor in hosting this insightful event.
Wait lang, Shane. We are already a few minutes away before we end our event, and the experience provided to us by everyone was truly a very worthy one. Wait.
I would like to thank everyone who actively participated today in today's event or tonight's event.
Sobrang dami kanina nag-ano
siya.
Yes,
sobrang daming participant dun.
And sobrang daming questions, hindi nasagot lahat.
And
Sorry.
all of you did a very good job.
Nga pala, remind mo Shane sila dun sa evaluation form natin for later.
Yes, don't forget to answer the evaluation form kasi po yun po yung magsisilbing attendance for the certificate po.
Yun lang. Shane, ano pa ang kailangan natin sabihin?
Ako, wala na
Reminding.
ba ako?
Ano yun? Siguro remind ko na lang ulit na i-like nyo yung Ask Like Speech Academy. Tapos, yung evaluation link nga. Then yun. Sige. We hope to see you on October 23 and 24, 2021.
We hope everyone enjoyed and learned from our from our
Pre-conference.
yes, the speakers definitely gave an illuminating and inspiring lecture. I believe all of us have a good time or had a good time listening to all of our speakers.
Mhm.
Once again, thank you very much for being with us tonight. It is truly an honor for us to be part of this program. Before everyone leaves the session, we would like to remind you to fill up the evaluation forms by clicking the link sent in the chat box or by scanning the QR code shown in your screen,
Okay,
for
may
it will
dinosaur.
be the basis for your certificates.
Shane. With that, we have reached the end of our program today. Thank you very much mga nag-participate. Ay, yun pala. Ano po
Wait,
ito?
may nag-chat po. Baka mag-end na po. Hello, pwede po ba kami makahingi ng copy ng mga PPT ng speakers?
I-ask po namin yan later po. Okay. Ay, pasend daw po ulit ng link kung may makapag-send po sa team. Bago po natin i-end, may nag-a-ask po na participant. Yun, sinanda po ni Miss Jess. Thank you very much.
With that.
Yung QR code din, para mas madali. Yan lang, may dinosaur pa, ang cute. Okay, with that, I am Rahim Victor Cortez.
And I am Shane Fruto, your host for tonight's event, Game Loading to the New Normal and Beyond. Signing off.
Thank you very much, guys. See you on
Good night
October 23,
po.
24. Thank you po.